can't find you on here. But alright.
Are you trying to look for me on the mixer there?
Yeah, on Mixer on my computer.
Should be just Newf Nukem, man.
Oh, I did. Oh, where is it at?
I hope it's streaming. I better check. Usually I would just wait till we get somebody up in the chat here, and we always get one or two. Better be working.
Featured.
Spider-Man's here, alright, so we know we're good. Spider-Man, give us a little audio check, will you, my friend? Let me know if my audio is good.
Yes,
Crazy Greek dude, what's happening? Spider-Man says, I'm good. Nicktendo, go out.
What's up? How's everybody doing? It's your man Nicktendo. I'm actually happy to be here, man. It's been, like you said, it's been a while. Like we've been kind of going back and forth trying to get on here, and so it's actually, you know, good. And like you said, it's fitting that I'm on here after all the Nintendo news that came out this week. So it's gonna be fun.
Absolutely. Well, okay, guys. Well, let's officially get this show underway. Yes, welcome to episode 18 of Mixing It Up with Newf. My special guest tonight is the one, the only Nicktendo Direct. This guy is one of the coolest dudes I've had a chance to follow and watch throughout the YouTube community over the past few months. His channel is definitely growing. The man is an expert in all things Nintendo. He's got great charisma, but you're going to see that for yourself when we get this show going live. It is really weird that, while he is Nicktendo Direct, he's a big Nintendo guy. We're kind of here playing Genesis games on the backwards compat. We're going to be playing some Streets of Rage for you tonight.
Xbox.
We figured it was a good, playing Sega games on the Xbox through backwards compat. It's kind of weird, I know. Wrap your head around that shit. So without any further ado, we're going to fire up Streets of Rage. We're going to plow through the series here, see as far as we can get. I haven't played these games in like forever, but I just downloaded Raging Justice for my Nintendo Switch, and it was, it kind of got me feeling nostalgic, so I figured this was a good way to go. Gives me Nick an easy game to kind of jump into and not get too distracted with everything. So I'm going to fire this sucker up. Let us know how everything's going, guys. We got Spider-Man, Stinking Corpse, Garain is up in the chat, Crazy Greek Dude. We got some people hanging out with us, guys. Thank you so much. All right, let's get this show on the road. Streets of Rage. I got to send Nick the invite here, so let's do, I guess we got to go Xbox Live. Here we go. Create a match.
We got to do this old school.
What's this Xbox
old
Live
school
party?
style.
Xbox Live Party. Okay, no, we already did that. So create a match. Yeah, here we go. Create a private session.
Like, you're looking at the...
Back to this one, you're like, ew. What's going on, J-Doe? Yo! Here we go. Two of us are in, baby.
Alright.
Let's go kick some shins.
Let's see how bad I am at these things.
Alright. Get into the 2 or 3 buttons. There you go. Alright, who you gonna be, man? Axel, Blaze. I'm gonna let my guest pick the first character tonight, and then we're gonna get into some questions.
I'm gonna be, you know what? I'm gonna be Adam.
You're gonna be Adam? You know what? I'm gonna take the girl. I gotta bring a little sexy to the house up in here.
Oh man, here we go.
Here we go, 1 player. Alright, here we go. Green, what's going on, buddy? Lunch Bizzle, what's up, brother? Here we go,
Lunch Bizzle in the house, huh?
Yeah, we're going retro, old school. Look how grainy this shit was back in the day, man. We thought these graphics were the shit. Man. Pixelrama. So anyway, guys, my guest tonight is Mr. Nicktendo Direct. Nick, how are you doing, my friend? What's been going on, man? What have you been up to?
I'm good, man. Like I said, what is going on here?
Oh, hit the X button. That's a special button. That's your special powers. Hit.
Oh. Oops. All right.
Yeah,
so,
no doubt,
how we punch it? Okay. How do you jump?
B is jump, A is punch. There you go.
Okay, there we go. No, get out of here. Punch it. Nah, man, what I've been up to, man, like, I've just been working on YouTube, working in real life, and then making content. New into the Nintendo community, so it's been a good journey. Like I've been on the Saltiest podcast, and I used to be Nick Fury.
Yeah.
And then I made the switch after purchasing I made the switch to Nintendo after purchasing the Switch, because the Switch just um, it really like got my passion for gaming back, and it made me feel like a kid again. So I felt like, man, playing these games on the Switch, I really just owe it to Nintendo for like reviving my passion for gaming. Because for a while there, it was like, I was just like not really into the gaming.
It's got to turn down my thing here.
It's still loud.
Yeah, you guys, is the game volume too loud there?
This music is good. This music is that 80s vibe, man.
Alright, now I can't hear my game. Hang on, I just trying to fix these game audio settings, man. It's too bad things didn't auto-balance themselves out. It'd be crazy. Alright.
No, it was a port. It was a port.
Game volume is loud. Okay, let's try this again. I already turned it down to 45%, guys, so hang on a second here.
You made it turn down all the way.
Options, let's see. Settings, let's see if it... Oh, thank God you... Oh, it looked like the volume went back up after we started. No wonder.
Oh, did it?
That's much better. Yeah, like it didn't set. There we go. So, there we go.
Let me see. Yeah, you're right. It went back up to 100. Let's turn that down.
Alright, that's much better. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. The volume reset itself to like
that's
full.
Much better.
Up on blast. They wanted you to hear those Yu Suzuki tunes, man. Remember Yu Suzuki, man, that made all the great tunes for Sega back in the day?
Oh, you slid me out, man. Back in the day.
Nick, you were saying, man. Oh, don't grab my boobs, man.
Sorry, dude. I had to cop a feel.
Hey, cop a feel. What's going on, Primal Eve? How you doing, girl? Glad you could be a part of the show. So, Nick, yeah, man, tell us about your early days, man. What's the first day? Like, when was the first time you can remember getting a console? What was it, and what made you fall in love with video games, dude?
Oh, time
over.
What
the hell happened there?
I guess we ran out of time. So
what happened?
The early days back in the day, so we're talking when I first got my first console. The first console I ever got was a Nintendo, the original NES. I got that when I was about 3 or 4. My mom, she bought me a Nintendo because she saw, like, her growing up, her brother was really into video games. And so, oops, I didn't mean to hit you. And so, she just saw a lot of
Free Jack, what's going on? Dirty J, what's going on?
She saw a lot of similar things in me that she recognized from her brother because her brother played video games all the time. And so she thought, me at a young age, I would want to play video games. So she got me a regular NES, and all I would play was like Mario and Mario 3. Because what are you gonna do when you're 4? You're just gonna
pick shit up in this.
Yeah, hit it. You hit A on it. There you go.
Oh my God, you got to tap A. My God, I can't even remember how to play these games. And only like 3 buttons.
So anyway,
it's like, oh man.
Like, what are you gonna do when you're 4?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
And so,
yeah.
Later down the road, she got me a Super Nintendo. And the only reason why she got me a Super Nintendo is because when she found out that I would do nothing but play video games, she decided, okay, that's over with. You're not playing video games anymore. And so the only reason why she got me a Super Nintendo was because she wanted to play Donkey Kong Country herself. She used that as an excuse because my dad was anti-video games. So my dad was really old-fashioned, so she used that as an excuse for herself to get a console, and so that continued for Super Nintendo.
Nice.
And then from there, my mother. And from there, I remember I had a Super Nintendo, and I really wanted a Nintendo 64 for the longest time, but my mom did not want to do that. So she went with the cheaper option because the PlayStation had been out for a while, so she got me a PlayStation instead of a Nintendo 64. So then eventually I got the 64 later. That went to the GameCube, which is my all-time favorite console. And then from there, got the Wii because I was a Nintendo kid. I was loyal to Nintendo. And when I got the Wii, I was not happy with the Wii. I thought Nintendo had really cut a lot of corners with the Wii, and it was really gimmicky, and I wanted it to be pretty much the Xbox 360 but Nintendo, and it wasn't going to be that. So I went ahead and got an Xbox 360 and played Halo with my friends because that was when I was about 18 years old or so. And so then that's where the Xbox history came in, was just Xbox Live, Halo late nights. You're in college or you're in LAN parties, online, that's all we did. And so that's where the Xbox came from, was just nothing but Halo, Call of Duty, Battlefield. You know, they call it the shooter box, but you know that's really what all we did was play with shooters. I can't even hit this lady with the whip. She's gonna whip my ass, man. So
now, Nick, I mean, Nintendo's had a really rich history of consoles. I mean, up until basically, with the exception of Virtual Boy. Virtual Boy was their biggest flop, and then you had, you know, probably to some degree the Wii U, which was a really capable console that should have done a lot better, but it wasn't marketed very well, and I think a lot of people misunderstood what it was, and I think because kind of they came in late with the HD, you know what I mean, where Xbox and PlayStation already had that more or less down. So, but going back, like, what was your favorite Nintendo, man? And this has got to be a really tough question to pick. What's your favorite Nintendo console? Everything.
It's not hard for me. It's not. Nintendo GameCube, hands down. I know that's everybody's least favorite.
GameCube.
Yes, wow. I know that's everybody's least favorite for the most part, next to the Wii U. But at that time, that was like, because I actually made a video about this on my YouTube where it was called Ode to the GameCube, where I talked about like all the memories that I had with it, and that's really what it came from, was just the memories of having the GameCube from the day my mom bought it for me. The games on it, that was like the first time, you know, as a gamer that I actually invested in video games, like the story, realized what I was doing, because, you know, the game that came out when I was about 12 or 13, so from there on, video games was just me playing video games. I really didn't pay attention much to the story, and so I think that's when I came into, like, became a more mature gamer, was within. So like games like the Wind Waker, Star Fox Adventures, Sunshine. The game that my all-time favorite game on that console was the Wind Waker, hands down. That was the first time I remember just feeling something emotional while playing a video game. When you're young, you know, and you're a teenager and you're all emotional. But so
Green says GameCube is his favorite. Metroid Prime for him.
Metroid Prime is another big one. But yeah, just for me, it was the Wind Waker and the GameCube. And that's all I really needed. Of course, Smash Brothers Melee, like that was a big one. I mean, and I remember,
you know, Wind Waker is still my favorite Zelda.
Playing that. Is it still? I know. You know what's weird about that? What's weird about that is, like, remember back in the day when it first came out, like everybody hated it, and they hated it because it wasn't Ocarina of Time Part 2, and like they didn't like the whole ocean thing, and I can't even hit this dude. They didn't like the whole ocean thing, and they didn't like, you know, sailing across the ocean. It got a lot of flack, and now all of a sudden everybody's begging for a remaster. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah. Xbox Phantom, what's going on, bro? Thanks for hosting the channel. Free Jack, how you doing tonight, brother? Glad you could be here. Guys, everybody that's hanging out with me and Nicktendo Direct, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's not going to be 100% a Nintendo talk show, so don't worry.
Please don't worry.
Like their other conversations. Don't worry, but Nintendo's also, always good.
I'm also an Xbox guy. Like I mentioned, I started off as my channel as an Xbox / just whatever channel. Like I said, I was Nick Fury, so I did a lot of Xbox coverage, and I did a lot of EA bashing. That was what I did at the beginning of my channel. And that stemmed from when I started my channel right when they killed Mass Effect Andromeda. And Mass Effect is still to this day my all-time favorite. What are you doing? It's still to my all-time favorite video game franchise to this day. But Andromeda was good. It wasn't great. I'd say it was about a 5.5, 6 out of 10. And they messed a whole lot up with the game. And so hearing the backstory with that and how EA, they didn't like hearing how BioWare didn't even want to make a new Mass Effect, and EA made them, and all the backstory behind it, like, it just made me hate EA. So in the beginning of my channel, you'll see a lot of Xbox, Madden, because I played a lot of Madden, and just EA bashing. It was funny, and that's where my channel started at the beginning.
Nice.
But then, as I mentioned, like halfway through it, I was gonna get an Xbox One X. Like, I just still have one now, but I was going to get an Xbox One X, and my wife, she really convinced me, hey, you should get a Switch. We should get a Switch.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do it. I was like, no, I really want to get the Xbox One X. And so she made a good point, a valid point. She was like, well, what are you going to do on the Xbox One X that you can't do on your current Xbox? She's like, you can always get the Xbox One X later down the road. You can't. She made a valid point. I said, you know what, you're right. I'll go ahead and do that. And so I don't regret that decision to this day. And she always, you know, rubs in my face that she was the reason why I got Nintendo and I owe her and all this other stuff. So, that's where the whole Nintendo part came from. So halfway in between, I just kind of changed over because, like I said, the Switch, I really enjoyed it, and it just brought back my passion. It made me feel like it brought me back to the days when I was a kid again, and so that's where the whole Nintendo channel came from. And the name Nicktendo Direct, that was actually help from Dealer. One time Dealer was in a party, and we were talking, and he was like, well, what do you want to do with your channel? And I just said, well, I think I want to do Nintendo. And he was like, well, what names do you come up with? And I could not think of anything. And he was like, some of those names that you came up with are terrible. Don't do that. And he's like, well, we start talking about the Nintendo Direct. He goes, how about Nicktendo Direct? And I was like, you know what, Dealer, that's actually perfect. So I owe Dealer for that one for sure.
It's awesome, man. Nah, Nintendo's had a lot of games. Now, Nick, did you get involved in any of the Nintendo versus Sega kind of stuff then back in the day? Because, I mean, video games has changed a lot, and of course the console wars themselves have changed a lot, especially with social media. But, I mean, I know Nintendo and Sega, there was no bigger rivalry than these two. I mean, they both had an amazing collection of hits, some great consoles. Sega obviously didn't play their cards as well as Nintendo in the long haul.
No.
You know, but they had some great franchises, great games. As you see, we're playing a classic 2D side-scroller here, you know, this definitely could rival some of the Final Fight games. You know, this was a good start for them.
Right.
But did you get involved in that at all, or did you never really care? Or maybe you own both?
I was
both.
too young for that. This is how it was in my family. We got a boss. Here, how it was. So, I'm gonna die. Being younger.
Stay on an angle with these guys, or they'll keep mailing you. Gonna kind of drop kick them.
I'm trying.
Here, we'll call in the special units. Here, you don't forget your special.
I'm gonna use it. Nice.
Did that even?
I'm calling mine in.
Oh, there you go.
I heard them. So, when I was younger, it wasn't the whole Sega versus PlayStation thing. For me, my mom and my little cousin. My mom got me the Super Nintendo, and my little cousin had the Sega. So, we pretty much, if any of us wanted to play another game on the console, we wanted to play Sonic. We wanted to play. I remember one big game we used to play all the time was Jurassic Park. Like, it was. We had to go over each other's houses or bring your console over to my house. I didn't really get into the console, and so I had access to both. Now, I did have a Super Nintendo, like I mentioned, but it was never one versus the other. I just liked playing video games when I was younger. And I never really got into the whole console war thing. I just kind of played, like, there toward the 360 I kind of did, like, because I remember whenever I wanted to get a 360, I looked into the PlayStation 3, but at the time when I was going to get the 360, that was when the PSN went down. Remember that? Like, when it went down for that long time? And my friend was like, you don't want to get a PlayStation. I was like, why? He was like, because you wouldn't be able to play any games on the internet. I was like, why? That makes no sense. And he explained to me what happened. I was like, okay, well, looks like I'm getting an Xbox. And so, there for a while, I kind of gave into that whole console war thing because I just thought it was a funny joke, like, your online doesn't work. But other than that, I never really, like, bit into the whole console war thing. Like, I was always just like, play what you want to play. I'll play what I want to play. If you like what I like, that's cool. If not, just don't bother me about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I've always taken the approach.
Well, back in the day, it was so different because you didn't have social media to play into it. Like, basically, you had a magazine, and that was it. You went over to your friend's house, you might have said, oh, well, you know, I don't really like this game as much as my Sega, or I don't like this game as much as my Nintendo, but that's about the size of it, really. And you had a little bit of stuff at school, right? Like, oh, man, my Nintendo, I love Mario better than Sonic, et cetera, et cetera. But, yeah, it was so much more timid and obviously a totally different thing back in those days, so.
Oh, man, for sure. Like, I remember there was, like, certain games where you'd have the Nintendo version, then you have the Sega version. I remember thinking back in the day, like, the Sega version looks so much better than the Nintendo version, like, in certain games. But other than that, like, just whipping, dominatrix.
Yeah, we gotta stop beating each other up, man. We're always kicking each other here.
I think I'll grab you. Can't we? Isn't that like a special move thing? I could have swore.
Yeah, there was one you can do, I think, if you grab each other, yeah. Or maybe that was in number 2, I don't remember.
I got him. No, get out of here. Man, I wish there was a sprint button. This is what? This is like early 90s, late 80s? This is rough.
Yeah. I think Streets of Rage, if I remember correctly, was 1991, maybe 92. Graphics came a long way in number 2 compared to the first game, I know that.
Oh man,
First game was good at the time, but you play the second, you'd be like, man, the graphics are way better in the sequel.
Frame rate drop.
Yeah, that's right, Green. I said Rival Final Fight. Maybe not the first game so much, but that second one really was known as a class. Final Fight's great too. I mean, obviously this game borrowed from that formula, right? But
I'm getting mad frame rate drops right now. Holy cow!
Yeah, man. Speaking of, we talked about earlier though about the Virtual Boy. Cause did you ever own a Virtual Boy? Because that's like one of the consoles that nobody like ever really owned, and it was like it just had. Oh, we got some lag going on here. Whoa, yeah, we dropping down,
Lagger.
bro. Yeah, no doubt. Lag in a 16-bit game, blasphemy.
I got this pole. I got this lead pipe.
Climbing up the pole. Yeah. Oh, these guys are the jumping.
Food. Don't worry, I got this pole. Look at this.
Morons.
Look at that. Barry Bonds over
here. Come here, hooker with the whip. Come here, hooker with the whip. Come here. Right. Oh.
Barry Bonds, the home run hitter, bro.
Oh, I'm Barry Bonds.
Look at that. Oh, come back here. No, not you. Oh, okay.
Oh,
ow.
no.
We keep going after the same dude.
I know. Well, we keep trying to, like, it's kind of weird, like, the way that the game has these weird planes. It looks like you're not level, but then you're still grabbing each other. It's like, what the hell?
Alright.
Oh, I think we're seeing we had a boss here.
I still can't find you.
Knife, you little ass whip.
Oh, he's hitting me. Here, get some knees.
Alright. Cool. So, so what would you say then is your favorite? Say, what's maybe your 3 favorite Nintendo games of all time on any system, and maybe what are your favorite games? Period. I know that's always one of the toughest questions I'll ask all shows. So
you had to put it on
very
Nintendo.
Tough.
So we're talking across all platforms, all consoles, no matter what.
Yeah, any 3 Nintendo games, your 3 of all time, and then maybe 3 of any, like, because it could be Xbox. Yeah, I want to know your 3 favorite Nintendo, and then your favorite 3 of any console. Oh, I think I died already.
I think you did. All right, so my favorite. 3 favorites. All right, let's start with. On the Super Nintendo, it has to be, for me personally, this is hard. Super Mario RPG Legend of 7 Stars is probably my favorite on Super Nintendo.
Oh, that's a cool guess. Okay.
That one was really good. I remember playing that as a kid. I spent countless hours playing that, going through all the secrets, playing every boss I could. Like, that was the first RPG I actually played. I remember watching my cousin play Final Fantasy 3, and I was just like, this game looks awesome. I didn't get it. I knew there was something special about the game. I just didn't know what. And so I was like, oh, this is cool. And then Super Mario RPG came out. I had no idea what it was. I just saw it at the video store. I rented it because I asked my mom. I was like, let me rent that. And I was like, this is just like Final Fantasy. That's what I compared it to because I was watching my cousin play it.
Yeah.
And so I just spent hours playing that game. Just countless hours playing that game. Top 3 recently, that has to be Breath of the Wild. That game quickly jumped up my list of all-time favorite games immediately. As soon as playing it, opening it up, like learning, oh my gosh, that game is just great. And I know you haven't played it yet, and you probably should.
Breath of the Wild, I have.
Yes. Oh, you started playing it? Okay. That game is just. Oh,
yeah, I got Breath of the Wild about day 1.
Okay. And that game is just. Oh man. That game is breathtaking. So I have to go with Super Mario RPG, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and then I would have to say Wind Waker. It's still up there. So top 3 franchises. There you go.
I'd give Breath of the Wild a perfect 10 if they did one thing for me. Come up with a patch to take away the whole stamina crap from Link, and I would be happy with the game. Because that was what really drove me nuts. The stamina and the fact that you didn't have the Master Sword. You played with a bunch of weird weapons that always broke after like 5 hits, and it just drove me nuts. It's like, I don't want Zelda to become Skyrim. I want Zelda to be Zelda, you know what I mean?
Right. I understand that. And I understand
that was my gripe
it was
with
to make you, but I know they did it. The point was to make you go through those shrines. Like, they gave the shrines some meaning, because there's a lot of shrines in that game. But yeah, so I would say my top 3 Nintendo games of all time, you got me. There's Breath of the Wild, Legend of Super Mario RPG, Legend of 7 Stars, and Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Legend of Zelda, if you can't tell, is my all-time favorite Nintendo franchise, followed by Metroid and Star Fox.
Yo, are people still in the chat? Because you guys have gone awful quiet. It's either the broadcast stopped or everybody's just really listening intensely tonight. It's kind of weird. I'm just trying to figure something out because I know our connection dropped. Okay,
Stinking Corpse,
Spider-Man's still, Grain's still here. Okay, just had to make sure, because usually when the chat goes, I start to be like, did Mixer go offline, or because it wouldn't
always
surprise me.
Mixer's always
do. Okay. Phantom says he's here playing with boobs in Conan. Oh, I like that, Xbox Phantom. That sounds good. So, Nick, just again, just recap that favorite 3 Nintendo. You said Breath of the Wild. I think you said Wind Waker. What was the other one?
Super Mario RPG: Legend of the 7 Stars.
Oh, yes. And that's the one that's also on the Super Nintendo Classic, isn't it?
Yes, that one's on the Classic.
Okay.
I don't have the Classic. I can't find one. Good luck finding a Classic.
Oh,
yes.
Man. Well, yeah, again, you know, which is weird because Reggie came out last year and he said, I remember when it came out last fall, Reggie made a statement. He said, guys, he said, don't worry, we plan to have a lot more of these, and you should not have to go to a scalper or buy them off a website. And I still don't think that was. I think there was more. I think they did make more than they did with the NES Classic, but I wouldn't say they were a lot because they were, even up to now, they're not easy to find. You know, I managed to buy one for my buddy like a couple months ago. He was looking for one. I walked into an EB and they just so luckily had one in there. And of course, my buddy is just like, he goes out like, what, 3 days later, and he just like, I wasn't going to play it, so he just got rid of it again. I'm like, really, dude? Come on. You know?
At least cop it to me, dude. I'd love to have one. Just for the heck of it. It would help out a lot with streaming. I wouldn't have to get these illegal emulators.
Yeah, no doubt, eh? I mean, those are such great, like, you know, they feel like official renditions, you know? Even, I guess they are, right? I mean, but you know what I mean?
Did you
like,
play Star Fox 2 on that?
I haven't tried it yet, no, I'm gonna...
Oh my gosh, that's one of the games I really want to try, and I really want it just for that. Because I think that game it never came out in USA, so I never got to play it. I didn't know anything about how to import Switch.
Grab that man there, dude. It's an extra life.
Oh. All right, let's go.
I think it is.
Hoo-yah!
Don't fall in the hole. Hoo-yah, hoo-yah, yeah. So how about, like, if you had to pick 3 games from any consoles?
3 games, any console.
Ooh. Any console. Watch it, or you just tell me what. I think I know your favorite Nintendo game, but what's your favorite Xbox or favorite Sony game?
Okay.
Or you didn't have one.
Favorite Xbox game and Sony game, because it became multi-plat later, was Mass Effect. That trilogy, that series. Man, once again, I never get off me. I didn't play Mass Effect 1 off the bat. I never really, like I said, at the time I was all about first-person shooters. So that's how the evolution of me as a gamer went. I went from Nintendo to wanting to play multiplayer games. Nintendo didn't have really any first-person shooters, any shooter games, no online. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna play Halo all the time. So I'm gonna play Halo, Call of Duty. I was that dude for a while. And then I remember one time my buddy told me one time, have you ever played Mass Effect? And I said, you know what? No, I never played it. It doesn't look very good. I was wrong. Yeah. But I said, it doesn't look good. I only play shooters. He's like, bro, trust me. Just get this game. Just get it. Play it. Let me know what you think. And so I got it. Played it. I think I started with 2. I didn't start with 1. I just got 2 and used the Genesis. And after I got done with the Genesis, I went back and played 1. But I got 2. Right. And that game just blew my mind playing it. I mean, just that whole story, the story of the collectors. I had no idea who Shepard was. Like, I was like, who is this Shepard guy? Why is it such a big deal that he came back to life? Yada, yada, yada. But I was just invested in that game. The romance, all the storylines, the Paragon decisions. I mean, I tried to go through as much of everything that I could. The DLC, everything with that game. I absolutely love that game and love that franchise still. Oh, so Mass Effect's definitely up there, #1 of all time. As far as other games, man, ooh, that one's rough.
So your thoughts on Andromeda then? Did you think Andromeda got the critical, or I guess the disdain that it deserved? Do you think people were a little bit hard on it, or what?
I think it got the disdain it deserved, but let me add a big but here. I feel like it got too much hate right out of the gate.
Yeah,
because it's not. Let's just be honest. It's not that bad of a game. It really isn't. Like mechanically, the way it looks, it's not that bad of a game. The story is not good. It's not. I mean, I was not afraid of the cat at all.
Right.
You know, I wasn't afraid of that enemy. They just were kind of just there. I wasn't afraid of the Archon. The exploration seemed like it was just there. It wasn't well thought out. It just seemed like they just threw a bunch of missions together on a planet and then just said, here you go, here's your exploration. Like, you could see the potential in that, but they just kind of just spoiled it by not doing it well. And so I think right out of the gate, when they were talking about, oh my gosh, the facial animations are awful, all the hate it received out of the gate, I thought was just too much right out of the bat. But all
Spider-Man's making fun of me for the puzzles. Spider-Man watched me stream quite a bit of that game last year because I think that was the game I streamed most on Mixer, and those some of those puzzles or whatever in there,
for the remnant, those were annoying.
Well, yeah, when you go inside the, what do you call it? What the name of those places you'd go inside?
Yeah,
you'd have to get like across those bridges and shit. And I get my ass kicked there. Like, I can't remember how these games are so effing clunky, man.
Yeah, like those puzzles.
I feel like I'm gonna like a fucking tank here.
What were they called? Oh my gosh, this dude is just tearing me up. What were those things called? I just hated those puzzles, dude. And I got to the point where I started cheating. I started Googling. I'm like, how do you do this? How do you figure these puzzles out? Because, wow, you can't do anything with this guy. You gotta like hit him as he walks by.
I don't like how we automatically grab each other too every time we're like within a. There you go, we got him.
Get some.
We suck at this game.
We terrible.
Yeah, no, those puzzles were crazy. Round 4, clear. All right, well, so Nick, tell us, I guess my last question for you, I got a couple real simple ones here. Tell us about your YouTube channel, man. How'd you get started and that, kind of what made you want to, pick up and do this sort of stuff?
I always wanted to do a YouTube channel from the beginning. When I realized that there was a big gaming community on YouTube, one of my favorite YouTubers, right at the beginning of the whole inception of gaming on YouTube, was a guy named Modern War Negro. and he's now the Black Hokage, but his name was Modern War Negro. Okay. And
did you say Black Bukaki?
No.
Oh, Jesus, man. Newf in the head in the gutter. So what the hell?
The Black Hokage. It's a reference to Naruto, I guess. But, so, I remember just watching him all the time on YouTube. Just constantly watching him. I was like, man, I really love to do this. But I was younger. I didn't have a good job to like get a capture card or a good PC or anything like that. I still lived at my parents' house at the time. I was like barely 21. And so I never really did that. And so I focused on playing music because I was a musician at the time. I still am a musician, but you don't have to quit. But I focused on playing music.
Right.
And so I met my wife and we started dating, and then we got married, had kids, yada, yada, yada. And so I always wanted to do YouTube. I got a good job. And so
the remnant votes. Thank you, Green.
There you go. Remember,
go ahead.
I met Salty because I'm a good friend of Salty's game. He was on your show. What was it, 2-3 weeks ago?
That's right. Yeah.
Salty is a good friend of mine. I met Salty because of Destiny. We would play Destiny. For a while, they're my friends. They stopped playing Destiny, and so I needed people to play with. So I went for LFG, and I met Salty there. and it kind of just we never stopped playing Destiny together. So it was just like ever since then. So we became good friends. Salty was like, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel. I was like, yeah, I think I will too. It's like, but I don't know where to begin. He's a Salty. He's like, I think I'm gonna do an Xbox channel. So that's cool. I just still can't decide what I want to do. So he started his channel. And he started doing the Saltiest podcast, which at the day which at the beginning it wasn't even called the Saltiest podcast. It was just bad idea. We like podcasted at like midnight my time, like when nobody was on, and it was called Dads of Gaming because all three of us were dads.
Oh, okay.
And it was me, him, and our buddy Shameless, and so we started doing the podcasting thing, and so I was like, yeah, I think I'll start a channel, but I wanted to make sure I had all my ducks in a row. I had to get a capture card and all this stuff because Salty was just going direct in through Upload Studio and doing videos that way. And I wanted to actually get a capture card and a computer and all this other stuff. So I waited a little bit. So I always wanted to do YouTube, and it kind of took Salty to push me off the edge to do it because he did it. He started it. We started podcasting. So I was like, well, I can't podcast with him and not have a channel. So that's where that kind of came from. And so, like I said, at the beginning of my YouTube channel, I was mostly doing videos about Madden, because I was playing a lot of Madden at the time, and EA bashing. It was just like that was what it was. So, and that's where the YouTube thing started. So, cool. Shout out to Salty. I hit X. Gosh dang it.
Yeah, Salty's a great guy. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Green, Spider-Man, Stinking Corpse, everybody that's here, guys. Dirty J, thanks for hanging out with us here. We greatly appreciate it. No, we are not playing this. At least I'm not playing this on the X, just a standard. But I don't think a game like this would make any difference on the X, would it? I mean, it's just
no. It still looks like Sega Genesis.
Yeah, it's still gonna look like a pixelated 16-bit game. You know what I mean? There's only so much you can fix these things. You can add all the HDR. Free Jack, what's going on, brother? Yeah, thanks for being here. Yeah. Hey man, I can only see 2 and 3 names in the chat at a time. Green. I just try to keep up with it here, as I told Nick at the start of the show. Try to keep up with the chat. So just chime in from time to time, guys. Make sure you're here because we appreciate it. Without people that come out to watch the mixers and the streams, this stuff would be pretty much pointless. So you are appreciated. I can't say that enough. I know it sounds cliche at this point, but no, we appreciate you guys and appreciate you hanging out and showing some love and support for Nick. He's a great dude.
Yes, sir.
And like I said, we're gonna get into some topics here right away. So Nick, I just got a couple more simple questions for you here. Your favorite type of music? Who's your favorite musician or band?
Ooh, well, I don't have a favorite type of music per se. That's because like growing up, I have a vast background in music. From hip hop to rock to even heavy metal. I played in a bunch of heavy metal bands when I was younger. To jazz. I played jazz when I was in middle school. So whoa, Ultimate Warrior. So I have a good background. So what I would have to say is my favorite genre of music is. I'm still a big sucker for rock music, honestly. If you can fuse rock and R&B together, I'm a sucker for it. So that's really what I'm into. Like I said, it's just a vast background. My favorite artist
Free Jack is asking electronic music at all. Do you listen to electronic?
Yes, I do. I mean, like I said, I'll listen to anything because I mean, I hate to get all stereotypical, but I'm African American. We really love the bass, so anything that's got good bass in it, or like that's me. Even heavy metal, if there's like a good double kick or a good drivey bass, and that's one thing that really drove me to like heavy metal was just the whole kick drum and the aggressiveness of the kick drum and just how the bass was just so aggressive and drivey. So that's what really drove me to that. So yeah, man, like I said, as long as it's got something that good bass, like I'm into it.
Okay. Well, I gotta ask you a stereotypical question. Are you guys really all about that booty?
I can't speak for everybody, but your man's is. I am, sure, 100%. I joke about that, and my wife's gonna kill me for saying this, but that was one of the main reasons why I ended up dating my wife.
Okay. I was gonna say, cause me, I'm all about the chimichangas hanging off the chest, whether they're high or low. I don't care where the fuck they go. I'm all about them titties, man.
but booty first. That's a good second for me.
The bigger the ass for me, I keep thinking, oh, that's a big shitter right there.
Oh, you know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. I can't argue with the logic.
Yeah.
Free Jax is all about that bass.
I always say when she sits down on a chair and her fucking chair disappears. Yeah, no, I like the titties, man. Whether they sag, whether they hang high, I don't really care, man.
I mean, fair enough. Fair enough.
Or you can't throw them over your shoulder like a fucking like a bike bag, you know. Oh man.
Suplex.
Anyway, we're getting off the rails here, but there you go. The No Chills Newf Nukem had to come out at some point in time tonight, right? How about movies, man? What sort of movies are you into, and what would probably be your favorite 3 movies of all time?
Ooh, 3 movies of all time. Okay, so this is gonna be a little weird. iRobot with Will Smith, 2004.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah.
That one when I was younger. Once again, because like I said, for me, like growing up, like I said, I never paid attention to video games or stories or invested in anything. And so iRobot was like the first movie that I watched that I actually was like invested in, like just was like, holy crap, that did not just happen. You know, and then at the age of 14, like,
yeah,
whenever the whole twist came out where it was the robot, which you think about now, it's like, oh, that's such a simple concept. We've seen that over and over again. But when you're 14, like, you don't think that. Like, you don't think, oh my goodness, the robots are taking over. You don't think of that. You're like, who's killing all these people? So
Free Jack says it's still one of his favorites. And you know what's crazy about that, Nick? Though, like, that movie seemed pretty far-fetched, like, when it came out. But if you look at today's society and some of the stuff we've done with robotics, man, it's starting to get scary, like, real now. You know what I mean?
Right. And so that's like, but at 14, you don't think about that. You're just like, oh my goodness, what? Like, that was such a mind-blowing thing to me. And so I thought that movie was just one of the best movies ever. Other movies, I don't really... The Star Wars franchise, minus the last one that came out. That one's up there. Oh, man, what else?
Okay, you say Star Wars, not The Last Jedi, but the one before The Force Awakens.
I love that one.
Yeah,
love that one.
That's a pretty good pick. Okay.
That one was good, but I wouldn't put that in like the top favorite of mine. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, like, the whole Star Wars trilogy as it go, even the prequels, like, I would put all the Star Wars in one minus The Last Jedi. And then, I have to go. Why is this guy moving? Oh man, The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger as the Joker.
No.
That performance, seeing him like that, like when I saw that was not Heath Ledger. You know what I mean? Like, there was no way that could have been Heath Ledger.
Oh. Yeah.
Like, there was no way. I was like, oh my goodness, there's no way it's Heath Ledger. He did such a phenomenal job as Batman, the Joker, and still to this day, I remember. Do you want to? What does he say? Oh, do you want to see a trick? And do you want to see me make this pencil disappear? When he takes that guy's head and just jams it to the table. I was like, whoa! Like, literally, everybody in the theater went, whoa! Like, at the same time. Like, you were like, oh my gosh! Like, and ever since then, I was all in. I was all in that movie.
I thought it was cool that Michael Jai White was in that movie, and most people didn't realize he was in there.
Realize that was him? Yeah.
That was him, yeah. He was that henchman there that was going to put the bounty on his head, remember?
Yep.
That's pretty cool, because I love Michael J. White. I think he's a phenomenal martial artist, but he's had some cool movies, and I wish he'd get more, like, A-list stuff, or make another Blood and Bone, or maybe Spawn would be awesome with him in it.
Another Spawn, yes. Yeah, like...
I keep saying that if they ever make a Gears of War movie, that he needs to be Coltrane, because he could pull it off totally.
Yes.
He's even got the voice, man. Like, listen to him. He sounds just like Coltrane. I can hear him going, woo, baby! So iRobot's good. Dark Knight, definitely an amazing movie. What was the third one? Or did you pick one?
I had to put the Star Wars together. Out of the Star Wars, once again, growing up, I didn't know any better. I always thought, like, the prequels were all that and a bag of chips, but as I gotten older, I realized that was not right. And Empire Strikes Back is probably my favorite of all of them.
I agree with you, Crazy Greek dude. If they do make a Gears of War, please don't put Dwayne The Rock Johnson in it. As much as I love The Rock, he doesn't need to be in like every movie.
You know he's going to, but that dude, yeah, you're right. That dude, him and Kevin Hart right now, just get them out of the. They're in every movie imaginable right now.
Dwayne is like on everything. It seems like to me. Like some movies he works well in, and some not so much. I don't know, but I haven't even seen Jumanji yet.
I have not either. I heard it was
damn girl.
Yeah, she's flipping. Oh my gosh, let me hit you.
She just flips me over her shoulder.
Oh my gosh.
Man, I used to be so good at these games. I could go through like the whole game without dying.
That was back in the day. It was funny because I remember one time
I used to play these things for hours.
Is she gone? Thank you. Here we go. Level clear. My buddy.
All right, awesome.
Go ahead, man. One time, my buddy, he was like, "Man, let's play some Sonic the Hedgehog." I was like, "A Sonic the Hedgehog, that'll be easy." And then we went back to play it, and that was possibly one of the hardest games I had played in a long time. Going back to play the original Sonic the Hedgehog because like you're just so used to having all these buttons and all these playing games a different way, and you have to take a different approach to it nowadays.
So Nick, Spider-Man's got a question for you in the chat. He says, Marvel or DC? I have a funny feeling I know which one you're picking, but see if I'm wrong.
Marvel.
All right.
Easy for me, dude.
Who's your favorite character in the Marvel universe, and what was your favorite Marvel movie so far?
Say that again one more time. I'm sorry.
Which comic book hero from the Marvel universe is your favorite, and which was your favorite Marvel movie so far?
You're gonna kill me. I have not seen Infinity Wars yet, but from what I've heard,
no problem,
and it's already been spoiled for me, so don't worry. And I have to kill somebody for that, but it's already been spoiled for me, so don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite Marvel character growing up had to be Spider-Man, and that's only because waking up when that Spider-Man cartoon came on, I was younger, so every Saturday was nothing but Spider-Man. So Spider-Man and X-Men, but out of all of them, my favorite was Spider-Man. And then my favorite movie so far, I'm gonna have to tell you right now, dude, Captain America: The First Avenger still holds up to me. I don't care what a lot of people say. That movie was really good. And for a while there, like I did not like Captain America, and that movie like gave me a different perspective on Captain America. That I was like, okay, this is really cool. I can kind of rock with that Captain America. So yeah, that one's got to be my favorite for now. Like still to this day, I know there's a lot better ones, but just personally the experience of watching that one and once again, just like it gave me a whole new perspective on Captain America.
Sure. Well, I think my favorite Marvel superhero has always been Spider-Man. Although I'm a bigger fan of the Tobey Maguire movies than the recent ones that came out.
Fair enough.
And as far as Marvel movies wise, I really like the original Iron Man. I thought that was my favorite. I just love Tony Stark. I love the costume. I loved how they developed that plot line. Really like the original. I found he started messing with his costume too much in the newer ones too, and it just drove me nuts. You know what I mean? Like, I like the look of the original characters, and I don't like how in the movie they constantly put them in a new suit and they look tacky. I wasn't overly fond of the new Spider-Man Avengers costume, to be honest with you. The gold and shit on it, but I don't know. It is what it is. Crazy Greek Dude says my app crashed. Yeah, that happens with Mixer. Mixer crashes a lot. Mixer goes down like the PlayStation Network.
I will. As far as I agree, I do think that Captain America's uniform keeps getting better. Even though it gets cheesier, I still like the change that they make with it.
Well, it gets darker. It seems like it has less color on it.
No, that too.
Here goes the fat guys again.
Or maybe it could just be that what's his face just keeps looking better and better. No homo. That's a good looking dude. I'm sorry.
Which guy is that? Oh, Chris Evans?
Yes. It's a good looking
Captain
dude.
America. Alright. Hey, you might get in trouble for saying those things, man.
I mean, I might, but I'm just saying. That's a good looking dude.
I know some people in the community pick up on every little thing people say. They're like, I heard you said this on a podcast.
Go ahead and say, oh, you said Chris Evans is an attractive guy. Okay, cool, whatever. You be homophobic, I'll be over here saying that that's a good looking dude. That's all I say about that.
Our good buddy GKB said that line one time, and somebody made a deal of it. Anyway, but all right, let's great suggestions, man. Good stuff. Let's continue. Let's move right along here. I guess we're about time now to get it. Unless anybody has a quick question for Nick before we move into the topics, because we're 50 minutes in, and we have some things to get into. Anybody have any personal questions here? We'll give him time at the end of the podcast as well, but you want to ask something now? Man, this fat guy's kicking my ass.
Me too. There you go. Good lord.
You can't get away from him fast enough. I don't know.
This game is messed up.
Some life. I know it's slow compared to like what I'm used to playing now. So say, man, 16-bit games back in the day, they were everything, and now you play them and you're like, what the? You're like, man, how bad are 16-bit games? They're so clunky and slow, and you know what I mean?
Yes. No, get off me! Get off me! Get off me! No, Barry Bonds back. Barry Bonds at bat. Oh,
that's right, baby. Hit some home runs. All right, so nobody's got any questions rolling. I think most people have asked what we have to ask, so let's get into some topics here as soon as I get off this friggin' fan belt here. I'm rolling around. All right. Yeah, this conveyor belt's driving me nuts. Everything's going backwards.
Imagine playing this in an arcade.
Pull up my yeah, that's something. I don't think a lot of these games were ever in the arcade. The Final Fight was, but I don't think the Streets of Rage ones ever made an arcade. Alright, so let's get into a topic. This one's very fitting considering that Nintendo Direct is on my show today, and some news broke this week. I mean, we've heard talks for a long time about Nintendo Switch Online. Well, it is getting closer to reality. It looks like it's going to launch officially in September for, I do believe, a cost of $19.99 as a yearly subscription, which is not bad. But the question is, what do we get for the $19.99? What do you think of it all, Nick? Break it down for us, man.
Okay, so I'll just break down the facts. So if you go to the Nintendo website, you go to the online service, they put up details of what you can get. The first thing they mentioned was you get online access to games like Splatoon, Mario Kart 8, ARMS, yada yada, so on and so forth. And then they talk about you get access to 20 classic games, starting with the NES games. So they only listed about 10. I can only name about maybe 4 off the top of my head, maybe more. Balloon Fight was one of them, Ice Climbers, Soccer, Tennis, Legend of Zelda, Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 1, and Super Mario Brothers 2. That's just the ones I can name off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure Dr. Mario. That's another one. And so that's just 10 that that's just 10 that they named. And they said there'd be more to be revealed because they said there would be 20 of them. So you get that. Then they mentioned that there will be cloud saves. That's part of the deal here. So you actually get cloud saves. So say goodbye to your terrible internal storage. You now get cloud saves. Now I don't know if those cloud saves will include actual games, because I mean that would be hard to streamline that to your console, but whatever. And then they mentioned that you now get voice chat, but you get voice chat not through the Switch. You get voice chat and messaging, and you can be able to invite people from their account like you would on Xbox, but you have to do that through the special Nintendo Switch app. Which my reply was, what makes that any different than what I can do with Discord other than sending invites? So that's pretty much what you get. It's pretty much bare bones. They said there'll be more to add. They said more features coming soon. They put that on there. And so my thoughts on it was, right now, I'm not too enthralled with it. Me personally, I gotta be honest. I know Nintendo, all they want from their YouTubers is for somebody to be positive about their brand and stuff, but I don't do that. I gotta be truthful about it. I do not like it, and I've seen articles and people were saying, oh, Nintendo's finally learning how to internet, and at the price point it's perfect, and I'm like, yeah, at the price point it's perfect, but I don't know, it's not perfect. It's $3.99 a month, or like you said, $20 a year, depending on what you do. Me and Salty, we actually did a live discussion the night it came out after I got home from work, and I said that I feel like cloud saves were going to be implemented from the beginning until they delayed it. because it seems like the Switch is almost perfect for cloud saves. Because I mean, 32 gigabytes of internal storage is not it's not nearly enough. So it seems like that was going to be that was the play from the get-go, but they delayed it, so you didn't get it. The fact that you now have to pay to get access to their properties, such as Splatoon, such as ARMS, such as Mario Kart, such as Super Smash Brothers. If Pokemon has a multiplayer aspect, now you have to use that. Such as any future game that's coming out. And what I find weird about this is before President Kimishima pretty much gave up his position as president, he was in a financial briefing talking to people, and he said that their focus from here on out, after they do the Labo, will be online games, online multiplayer games that fans will want to play on top of other products that fans will want to play. And so what everybody took from that was, okay, they're going to do a games as a service model with everything. But I mean, I know that Xbox does the same thing, but Xbox, you have Xbox Live to play games online, to use their service or whatnot. What's really tricky about this is Nintendo, and specifically on their website, it says, do I need to have the Switch online service to play games? And they only list their property. They say other games will be subject. So that means, say if Fortnite comes, or this one game called Crazy Justice, which is going to be a battle royale that's coming to the Switch, if that comes and that's online, you may not have to pay for that. I find that very... I don't find that a very good practice. It's very weird. I don't find that a very good practice.
It's almost like, too, it's like, well, Nintendo feels that, you know, they know that people basically will pay to play their games online. Like Mario Kart, for example, has been, you can play this one now for the last, almost 2 years now. Absolutely free, right? And all of a sudden you're going to get it, and now you got to pay now to play. Like, it's almost like somebody said in an article, it feels like Nintendo's actually taking away something, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Which is the reason why when Sony went to PlayStation Plus, they did it on the PS3, right? And they didn't force anyone to buy it, and they couldn't really force you because they gave it away for free. They were giving away their service for free, right, originally? So what they did was they enticed people to get PlayStation Plus by giving them the free games, and a lot of people did it just for that fact alone. And it eased the burden of actually paying for online. And then, of course, when they went to a new console, it made sense. You knew they were going to charge because they were going to want to get in on the online internet pie, just like Xbox did. So I mean, with Nintendo, I mean, my personal thought,
here's the deal, like Nintendo price point is good though. The price point, Nintendo did something similar, but they didn't give you games that you wanted. Like, okay, and they said they added online aspects, but okay, what were you gonna do with online Super Mario Brothers? Take turns, speed run together? Like, that's my thing. So and what will bring me to my next subject is the fact that, which is another subject, we'll get in that later, but Virtual Console, they just announced, is now not going to be a thing. My thing is with you announcing Virtual Console not being a thing, you better implement Super NES games, 64 games, GameCube games, Game Boy games. You better implement a lot of those games into this service. Exactly. If you don't, you're going to have a lot of people
Game Boy
upset.
Advance. I got to clarify something in the check. FreeJack said free PlayStation Plus. No, I mean Plus was never free, but PlayStation Network was free on the PlayStation 3, right? You could play your games online for free, whereas on Xbox you had to pay for the subscription, which was always Sony's ace in the hole last gen. Like, that was a big reason why a lot of people chose PlayStation over Xbox, is because they could play their games online for free, right? But in order to entice people to move to PlayStation Plus on the PS3, they had to give people the games, right? And then they switch it to a full online for the PS4, where you're forced to buy it, period. So,
right, and Nintendo did something similar,
Nick.
but like you said, the free games you're getting are NES games. What's his face? How you say that? Gerain. So I think they're just killing off the name Virtual Console. Yeah, I think they're just killing off the name Virtual Console. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I think they're really trying to go with the games of service model. Like I said, they better start implementing other consoles with you just now announcing that Virtual Console's not happening. That's going to have a lot of people upset. Now, what I'm interested to see is what the new president is going to implement, because he said he's ready to pretty much he was going to keep Nintendo, keep the traditions, but he was going to put a new spin on it.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to see what he's going to do. Maybe he'll change some things. But as far as online service goes, I'm going to play it. I'm looking forward to it. But like you said, it feels like they're just taking something away rather than adding a whole lot of things and giving you the whole, oh, you're getting 20 free NES games as a cover up for it. Now, $3.99 a month, $20 a year.
Yeah.
Like you said, price point, perfect. I could slip a $20 bill and have a year subscription and see how I feel about it. So, I mean, it's not too bad. But, and they can always implement on it, and that's where I'm being positive. They can always make it better. They can always, improve on it. So I'm not going to just bash it right away. But from just the first impressions, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not too impressed with it.
Well, one of the things, Nick, they need to do away with, and I'm surprised they have. I mean, I understand why they have friend codes, but I think they're so archaic
they
right
are,
now.
They are
getting Nintendo's past that.
I've seen, they're getting away. They are getting away from that. Because now that you have to have a subscription, I think that's what I was reading into it at the frequently asked questions. Now that you have to have a account, you have to set one up and you have to set up a name because now that they have an account, you have to set up a name like you much on Xbox. And I believe you're gonna have to have like a gamer tag situation. I believe, but it wasn't 100% sure because they kind of worded it weird when they were in that frequently asked questions. So we'll just have to see. But I think the way they explained it is you can now send your friends invites and messages on the app, and the only way you can do that is if you know who they are and you send them invites through the app. I don't know how that's going to work with. I send you an invite through the app and then you hit a button on the app and it automatically like puts you in my game. I don't know how it's going to work. But instead of doing the whole friend code thing and then hitting join and hitting A at the same time, and I think you actually now get to like legitimately send invites and stuff like that. That's what they said, but they weren't really specific on it.
All right, well, that'll be good because, as I've said, one of the frustrating things about playing Nintendo Online right now, as it stands, was like that time when we played Mario Kart. Right, we had to basically jump into an Xbox Live party and. You have to basically send your friends a message on Twitter because otherwise, like you'd think even the basics would have been on the Nintendo. Like at least send the people on your list a message like, "Hey, do you want to play a game?" You know what I mean? Like it's just so funny that Nintendo feels like they're so behind the times when it comes to online. And I'm sure they've got lots of great technicians and tons of money and they have the means to make it happen. I just don't know why. Anybody at Nintendo would have thought their current method was fantastic. It baffles my mind. It's like, dude, but like I said, it's pretty affordable. Hopefully they work out some kinks, and by the time it launches in September, it's a service worth having. Like I said, for the $20-something bucks, I guess you better enjoy playing Mario Kart online. That's all I can say, because there isn't a whole lot of maybe Splatoon, because outside of those two, I don't know really what else.
And when they say that they're gonna focus on online games, I can only imagine like what games are coming in the future. Smash Brothers is a big one. I feel like it's no coincidence that Smash Brothers was announced and it's gonna be coming out this fall, right when the online service comes out. I don't think it's a coincidence. I mean, that 100% isn't. And I expect us to get a release date around the same time, whether that's a few weeks after, or even right at the same time, because. Yeah, as soon as, because they're going to want to try to capitalize on the money. Like, they're going to want to capitalize on that cash flow. And so, I mean, as soon as Smash is announced, I guarantee you that's when the service is coming. That way people are forced to pay for it and play for Smash. Because Smash is going to be such a huge release for them. I think it'll be bigger than Splatoon. Right now, Splatoon is the biggest game for them on the Switch and in Japan. I imagine that Smash is going to be way bigger than that.
Well, I think as well, now that Nintendo has sort of an official online setup, this could be a big thing if they collaborate closely with Xbox and do the crossplay. So,
Free Jack says,
kind of segueing into that
online service collab between the Xbox and Nintendo. That was the rumor for the longest time. That they were actually meeting together and collabing because Nintendo, asked Xbox for help on how they were doing things. But that seems to be not the case, because if they really were listening to Xbox, then they wouldn't have done things the way they did them. But anyway, that was the biggest rumor for a long time, and I was excited for that, because my two favorite gaming companies together, like collabing on something, I would have just lost my mind like a schoolgirl, just screaming.
Absolutely. Well, segueing into this, no virtual console, bad move or good move? Why do you think that is? You think Nintendo's just trying to double dip and get people to buy the games all over again, possibly? Because
a bad
with
move.
Nintendo Online,
It's
you
not
don't get to keep
consumer
those games, eh?
No,
they give you a game for a month and then they take it away.
Exactly.
Right?
It's not consumer friendly to that fact. Like, in order for you to play virtual console, now you have to you get your Wii U out. Like, who wants to do that? You know what I mean? Like, who wants to plug their Wii U back in when you have the Switch? So yeah, it's not consumer friendly in that manner. That's bad. But like you said, you get those games for free, and then they switch them out every once in a while, and then you know. So it's a bad move for those who've already made the purchase. That's not consumer friendly. So good luck, everybody. I think they just still picture people plugging in their Switches, their not Switches, their Wii U's and using Virtual Console. But I don't think Nintendo realizes like that's not going to happen. Like especially here in America, if we have something new, how often are and like how many HDMI ports do you have on your TV? You can't just reserve one for your Wii U. That's gone. So I think it's a good move from a business standpoint. They want to make more money. This is the way to do it. As far as consumer friendly, nope. It's not not at all. So I mean, good move, yes for them because they're going to get their money. Bad move, yes, because it's going to piss a lot of fans off.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It doesn't surprise me. Much as again, I love Nintendo. The fact that they've even screwed over a lot of fans with this NES and Super Nintendo Classic shortages, which baffles my mind. I mean, how can you turn down the money when there's money on the table, when there's still, you know, thousands of people out there still wanting to get one? I mean, yes, I blame part of it on the scalpers too. You guys are a bunch of asshats. I'm telling you right now. I don't care who I offend on that one. You're asshats because you're taking it away from someone who wants one, or the fake ones and everything else. But I mean, yeah. But I mean, the fact Nintendo should have kept supply high enough as well. I mean, I can understand for like the first month or so, but I mean, when you're into 3 and 4 months and you still can't find the bloody things, like something's not right with that picture, especially considering it's old tech, and it should be something they can pump off an assembly line in like a fraction of a minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jack says Nintendo will get a pass because they're Nintendo. I do agree, but remember during the Wii U, there was a time when Nintendo was doing nothing but taking losses. Like the media was hard on them. And I mentioned some dealer's channel because he made a video. I can't remember what it was. People were bashing State of Decay like already out the gate, and not really anybody's played it. People are saying it was boring, yada yada yada. And I made a comment saying it seems like the gaming media goes in cycles with who is going to get the blunt end of the bashing. Who's going to take it? You know, in the 360 era, in the Wii was doing so well. It was PlayStation because the online was down, and so PlayStation was the one taking the L's. And then the one comes, and then it was the Wii U because the Wii U was just awful and blah blah blah, and it didn't sell that much, and it was a failure to them. And then all of a sudden, the Switch comes out. Switch is doing great. Switch is doing amazing. Oh my gosh, Nintendo couldn't do no wrong. The online service comes out, even though it's kind of not. Even though it's not consumer friendly, but hey, Nintendo's doing great. They're finally learning how to online, yada yada yada, and now it's Xbox turn. So I do agree with you, Free Jack. Yeah, they're gonna get a pass right now, just because that seems to be the narrative in the gaming media. Like the narrative right now is the bash Xbox. They have no games. Like that seems to be the thing that's going on right now, and that's frustrating.
Yeah. Well, like I said, let's hope Nintendo gets it together. What's with the crap voice chat service? Sad stuff. Yeah, no doubt, man. But hopefully, like I said, we'll give Nintendo some time and we'll see what they do. But
I don't know.
Like I said, it's not a big investment, thank God. Yeah.
Getting on that stupid app.
Let's talk about voice chat. Let's talk about a game since we're playing Streets of Rage. I mentioned at the top of the show. Let's talk about Raging Justice. That just came out. Kudos to the team at Team 17 and making games. Doing a little game that's a throwback to the retro era with sort of new age graphics. Anybody play Raging Justice yet? What do you think of it in the chat? Nick, how about yourself? I downloaded it for Switch.
Played it yet.
I downloaded it for Switch only because it had no online co-op, so I'm like, it really doesn't matter then to me. Otherwise, if it had online co-op, I'd have bought it for Xbox in a heartbeat. But because it didn't, I'm like, frig it, I'll just get it on my Switch. Because I don't have many games for my Switch. I was like, that's kind of the perfect game to take on the road, just to fuck around for a few minutes, you know, and play a couple levels here and there. So, yeah. Crazy Greek dude, so my phone's on fire, can't handle Mixer. At least I'm getting my X soon, Spider-Man. Thank God, you're gonna get one soon, bro. You're gonna love it.
Yes.
Go ahead, Nick. Take it away, man.
I haven't played it yet. I've seen reviews and I've seen nothing but good. People were saying it's a lot more in depth than it looks. There's a lot more to do with it than it looks. I just thought it was gonna be another Streets of Rage side scroller, beat 'em up. And I mean that is what it is, you know, at its core. But people are saying there's a lot more to it than just that. They said the story's kind of okay, but as far as the gameplay goes, there's a lot more to it than that. And so I'm gonna take a look at it. I'm gonna take a look at it.
Yeah, it is a spiritual successor. I'll say for the money I spent in Canadian dollars, I spent $17 for it Canadian. I think it's worth that. I mean, it's a pretty good romp. It takes you a couple hours, I guess, to beat it. Overall, it's like not a real long game, but it's, you know, like it is what you expect it to be. It's a spiritual successor to Streets of Rage and Final Fight. It kind of handles a lot like this game too. It has a bit of a clunkiness to it, you know, with the new age graphics, right? But I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. If you like these kind of games, I think it's nice that somebody, you know, took the time to develop one and bring out that game out. It's not going to win any awards. It's not going to set the world on fire, but you know, you get what you kind of expect, and there's you know, it's got some pretty tough bosses in it. Like their patterns are not tough per se, but their life meters are long, and of course they always have like a lot of dudes that come out and fight you while you're trying to take them down. So yeah, it was a pretty good game. Green says it's pretty fun, and the dev mentioned adding online later, which would be cool. And if they do add it online later, then yeah, I'll probably be sorry that I didn't pick it up on Xbox. But for the time being, I think it's a great co-op game for the Switch. So yeah, you should try it out, Nick, if you get a chance, man.
I will.
Oh, you're beating me up.
Didn't mean to. These guys are just annoying. You know, forget it.
Kind of got to put them in the corner of the screen, these fatheads. Well, we want to save the special for the boss. He's coming out here soon.
I don't have any.
I got one. Even Raging Justice even does what this game does. Is after you beat them as bosses, the bosses become regular characters in the levels. So it's kind of funny how much they actually borrowed from these style games. It makes me laugh, you know, like, you know, they even got the 3 character selection. They got Rick, they got Nikki, I think it is, and some other dude that kind of looks a little bit like DJ. So it's kind of funny how even their character designs are kind of very similar to like the Streets of Rage moniker. All right, so let's get in. So anyway, guys, I like to say it's a pretty decent game for the price. It's not bad, and you can get it for PlayStation 4, Xbox, and for Switch. Pretty cool. I hear that Thanos is coming to Fortnite and has some people going nuts. I don't know if you played it yet, Nick. What's your thoughts on that?
But I've seen it. I watched Salty because Salty put up some gameplay of it because he was playing earlier. Okay. He finally got Thanos. From what I heard, it's just like you have to find the Infinity Stones.
Okay.
And then, you know, you got to find them, and you have to survive finding them too, and you got to kill people for them. So if somebody finds them and they have it, you know, you kill them and they drop it, and then you got to find them. So whoever gets them gets to become Thanos, and you get this super jump, like some crazy stuff, and you get to shoot the laser at people. Like if you get close to somebody, a one-punch hit and a kill. It looks fun. And you know, it's very Fortnite. Like Fortnite's done a really good job at like between them and PUBG. PUBG has not put out any regular content. Fortnite has been good at just, even if it's bad, they still put it out, and if it's bad, they just fix it right away. And that's with those games, that's what you got to do. You got to just kind of have certain content every week or every month or whatever. And PUBG has not been doing anything like that. And so that's why Fortnite, I think, is gaining popularity, because there seems to be always something new to do on that. And like I said, the Thanos thing is just a great idea. It looks fun. I need to play it. But, you know, like I said, I watched Salty, and it looks super fun. Yeah.
Guys in the chat, is the Miramar map still up for PUBG? I'm just curious, because I haven't played it yet, and I've been wanting to try it out.
Yeah, I've not played it yet either.
Actually, you know what? I just recently got rid of my Sea of Thieves, but for you guys who are wondering, I'm probably going to rebuy Sea of Thieves, just because I miss it already, so.
That would have been fun. That one would have been fun.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves is good, man. I kind of regret getting rid of it now, but I think I'm going to pick it up again, which is all good. Oh, I think we're coming to the boss here. Oh, we got a couple
these
of those
girls.
flying girls. I know Free Jack's excited for that. Nah, man, I'm not getting no Game Pass. You know me. I'm gonna go physical until they stuff digital down my throat. Coming to Alpha soon. That's good. Yeah, I'm excited to play it. I never got in on it when they ran that little test level last week. Right on. I'm trying to get into the other questions. Your damn phone's cutting off. So how about this? This is one that's kind of disturbing and I think it's full of shit, to be honest with you. EA, I guess, in a recent report is suggesting that Xbox One is only sold 29 million. Now, I don't know what about the price of tea in China, but that sounds like it's pretty damn off to me, Nick. I mean, the first year that Xbox One came out, I think they did close to 15 million in its first year. So
I thought they reported
29 million.
I thought they reported 30 million last year.
Well, this
32.
is what I'm saying. Plus, if I'm looking at the VG charts numbers, and they're closing in on 40 million according to VG charts. Now, somebody says Xbox said somewhere that the EA number is not true, but they didn't disclose how much they were at. But they just said that that number was off. So,
big buff.
29 million for the S only based on EA bundles. Maybe that could be a possibility. Xbox Phantom. I just can't see it being that low. But of course, you know, some of the Sony guys are. Oh, are we gonna fight each other? Or no.
Oh, hey.
Jago Kukan, what's going on, man? Jago says hello.
Jago.
Nick.
Bro, I didn't mean to hit.
Oh,
A.
you.
Well, we're gonna
Beat
look
me
at
up,
this
punk?
one out. Let's go. Let's go.
All right,
Come
bitch.
on, man. Nah, come on, man. Come on, get these
Smash that
hands.
butt.
Get these hands, bro. Yeah, get these hands.
Oh no, your body's fine. Get your hands off my tits.
Barry Bonds.
Nick,
Barry
Nick
Bonds.
always grabbing the girl. Oh, you got the fucking bat, you cheater.
Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds.
Come back
here.
Oh, Nick's gonna
Barry-
win this one.
Barry Bonds. Oh, come on,
I can't
man.
imagine
Yeah,
if Mortal
suplex.
Kombat games are this. If Mortal Kombat games are like this clunky, oh my god, we never do anything. Oh,
Yeah,
look
keep
at that!
that.
He just counters me and grabs me. All right, you gotta beat this guy now.
I got to by myself. You can continue.
Yep. Oh, there we go.
Why are we fighting?
So
we,
do we-
we gotta. Can we hit each other?
Oh. I know he was eventually he takes out the gun or whatever. I don't know how many of you gotta beat me for what. Look at Nick, just get the upper hand no matter what he do. It's like he's just kicking my ass. Look at this. The punches go right through each other here.
His hands are rated E for everyone.
Oh man. Come on, Blaze. Wow.
The elbow.
Lousy in a fight.
Jax.
Oh, Jax from the Mortal Kombat. Yeah, he's awesome.
You know, my favorite Mortal Kombat character was probably, well, I don't know, Sub-Zero. Maybe Ermac. Ermac was dope.
He's playing with the pussy? Oh, well, that would be, of course, Newf. I mean, he's always got his hands on the pussy. Come over here and get these fish sticks.
Dude, for the comeback of the century right now. What is this? Alright, Newf. Okay.
Drop kick,
okay.
bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, the late drop kick. Oh.
You lit up.
Oh,
How do I counter? Where's the counter
oh,
button?
you know what? I think you know how it goes. One of us has to not continue because we chose to because we're doing the fight thing. Yeah, I'm rated 18 plus, Phantom. You bet, man.
You
I'm
gotta
always
kill me.
dropping the lewd jokes, so I put that in my mixer. Yeah, it's not a kid's mixer most of the time. You know me, man. No chills. But it's in my profile too. So No, there's no family on here. In my mixer, it's on my profile page. It's 18 plus, unless there's something screwed up.
Looks like a family and friends on the Xbox. All right.
Family, friends on Xbox. What the hell?
Okay, what do I gotta do?
You if you hit continue, then you hit continue, and you gotta fight me again until one of us quits and game over, because that will leave one of us to fight the boss. So you continue and you can fight him if you want.
Nah, I ain't doing that. You got it.
What? Really? Well, it shouldn't be family friendly. It's supposed to be 18 plus on my mixer. There you go. Mixer can't get nothing right, can they?
Tell them no.
You honestly think Newf would put that in there? I have to go back into my mixer profile and double check, but I'm pretty sure I select. Oh, where's this? You dropped me in a hole. No. Oh, we got to start the whole round over again. Oh no! Hit your start button there.
I'm trying. It's not working.
Oh, it's not working.
Let's just play two. We would have beat
game
the
over
guy.
now.
We would have beat the
All
guy.
right.
Let's just go to two.
Yeah, no doubt, eh? All right. No, that's weird. Okay, I forgot about that. I remember back in the team. All right. So, all right, let's go back and pick up number 2, and we'll play a bit through that. We're almost to. Don't have a lot of topics to go. We're at 81 minutes in, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us on the stream, mixing it up with Newf.
Yeah. Like, that.
Yeah. So what do you think about that number?
Weird.
But
that's weird, man. Like,
off with that, right?
Something seems off. Like you said, like last year, because I remember doing the Southeast podcast, we were talking about 32. I don't want to say the replay. We talked about it being, 32, not 29. That sounds wrong, very wrong. And I wonder why EA seems like they need to put that information out there when it's not really their information to put out. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
But whatever.
It just seems. I mean, we might be off about 8 to 10 million, but it just seems like much lower than, like, it doesn't even make sense. It can't be that low, otherwise Xbox is actually going backwards, if that's possible. You know what I mean? It's got to be at 40 million now. I mean, it just got to be. They're not getting their butt kicked that much, not, at least not in North America anyway. So I don't know. It just that number doesn't add up somewhere along the line. But Microsoft says it's not accurate anyway. It's not a big deal. At the end of the day, it's just numbers. Microsoft knows where they're at, and I honestly I know why they don't like releasing numbers, because when you are losing and getting your oh, this is not right. What did it say? I thought I picked a different one here. I got a dude here, Ghost of a New Day. Hang on. No, this is not it. Picked the wrong guy. Sorry, Nick. Well, the Japanese sales, you can't count them at all, because I think they're usually like less than 100,000 in that whole country in 5 years. So, Salty is gaming. We expected you to show up here eventually.
Salty.
Right.
What's good, my dude? What's good?
Here we go. I have create session instead of creating private session. Here we go. Here we go.
So weird they gotta have to push both buttons.
Isn't that weird? That's still pretty cool, man. Bringing up the old dashboard inside of a new console is trippy and weird. All right, so let's move on to the next topic. E3, we're just like a little over a month away, I guess. What do you think the big three need to bring at E3 this year, man? And I guess we can start with Nintendo. What do you think they need to show, or what they need to bring out to instill confidence in their fan base? So we'll start with Nintendo, and you can take it away, Nick.
I don't think Nintendo doesn't really need to do too much, because they've already really announced their plans. So unless they have some big surprise, fans already know what they're getting, because they already stated that they're going to do the Splatoon 2 tournament. So they're going to do the world tournament for Splatoon 2. Ooh, feels much better than the last one. Holy cow! So they announced that, and then they also announced that they're doing the Super Smash Brothers tournament. And that'll include the new Super Smash Bros. That won't be of the old one, so that's how they're going to reveal the gameplay is through this tournament. And other than that, we already know what they're gonna get. So unless there's some big surprise, say Metroid Prime 4 or Pokemon or something, fans really already know what they're gonna get from Nintendo as far as the E3 goes. They said that they're just gonna focus on games that are coming out this year, nothing next year. So I don't think
like Fandom said,
there's much they can do.
Fandom said they don't really do much of the E3 stuff, and no, they don't do so much anymore, but they normally do some big announcements with Nintendo Direct or whatever in and around that time, and I think Nintendo's going to firmly rely on the third parties to show off games at E3, on their behalf sort of thing. But one thing I've started to notice with the Switch, I don't know if anybody else noticed, but it's kind of sad in a way, and I'm hoping this is not going to happen. I've been noticing the amount of shovelware games that are starting to come to Switch already, and I'm not just like the indie games, but if you look on some of the games that are coming out on the cartridge format, and I've been looking at some of the lineup like on the EB Games website, and they're starting to get a lot of those like really crappy games like we saw back in the Wii days, like Barbie's Horse Adventures 3, like just games that are just absolute trash. Just taking advantage of the sales, taking advantage of the fact that it's, the hot commodity. Like, I hope Switch doesn't go down that road where Nintendo's just starting to allow anything and everything, you know what I mean? Because it dilutes the game base and gives people choices, and people end up spending, unfortunately, a lot of money on games that are just not worth spending money on, right? And it takes away from the stuff they shouldn't spend money on, right? I know how it goes, man. Parents will walk into the store, and instead of getting Super Mario Odyssey at $80 Canadian, they look down and see, oh, it's Dig Dug's Big Purple Head game, and they're like, hey, maybe my kid will settle for this game. It looks like Mario, you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, I've seen. Trust me, I worked in electronics once, and parents were like that too. They go in and they just buy any old thing. Well, this one's like $40 cheaper. I'll just get this. Maybe my kid won't know the difference, right? And you're just like, oh boy. Third-party support, not the old game. Yeah, I agree with Phantom. Like, third-party support would be great on Switch, and hopefully some new games, not just like games that are ported from the Xbox or from old generations.
What I do expect is that Square Enix says we're going to have a reveal. What I think we can expect is Square Enix says also. Why am I beating you up? Get off of here. But Square Enix had also said that they are planning on having a good. They are what was the quote? They are pleased with the success of the games on the Switch. I keep hitting you. They are pleased with the success of their games on the Switch.
Yeah.
They see that the Switch is a success. They are looking for ways to put more exclusive games on the Switch. I expect them to have a few releases for the Switch in their press conference. I do expect that. But I agree. I think the third-party support for the Switch is a little bit concerning because, like you said, all we're getting are ports. We're not getting anything crazy, and if we do get anything, it's just like some small, like Octopath Traveler. That game looks great, but that was not going to go on any other console. That game was that game wouldn't even dare to be on any other console. So I think we might keep getting games like that, which is disappointing. I don't think we're going to get any Call of Duties or anything like that, which is the rumor is Black Ops 4 is coming, but I don't know if it's 100% possible without watering it down, in my opinion, which is a sad thing to say.
So what do you think Nintendo will show around the time? They'll mostly lean on Smash Brothers? Is that what you think they'll do?
Oh, I think 100%. I think they already know. And unless they, like I said, there's some surprise announcement on the way. And the only reason why people, actually, I know they'll show Yoshi because they already announced Yoshi last year, and they already gave Yoshi the new Yoshi game a 2018 release. So that one.
What about a Mario Party game? What about a Mario Party game or more on
Party has been.
Mario Party's gotta come.
Right, Mario Party is going to come eventually. The rumors they're working on it, but that was just early this year. I don't think we would get a review for that. The only two games that are getting a lot of traction are Pokemon and Metroid Prime, and that's it. That's the only ones that are getting a lot of traction.
Phantom in the chat is like, how would MMultiplayer and COD on my Switch work? LOL, hold on, let me get my phone.
For real, dude. I mean,
that's
the sad part about it, man. Like we mentioned before, let me get this phone app. Ugh. That's just. So I expect Nintendo. I expect them to do if they're doing this with the direct, they're gonna do the typical Nintendo Direct format, which is reveal stuff, show us some 3DS, show some Switch stuff, show some games we're already gonna get. Maybe throw a little new game here and there, maybe a new Square Enix game, something like that, and then they'll have a big surprise at the end. And I hope the surprise is Pokemon or Metroid Prime.
Right. How about now moving over to the Sony side? What do you think they need to do? Because one of the biggest, Sony's had, a couple of years of sort of solid E3s, but look, let's call it spade a spade. Sony hasn't exactly shown a lot of new stuff. They seem year and year they show basically the same games, just a little bit more of it. And I suspect they're gonna just show more of that. What do you call it? Death Stranding again. Maybe we'll see actual gameplay. But what do you think Sony's got to do, man, to keep their momentum going? Obviously, they're sort of in the driver's seat at this point in time. They've had a great year this year, and they've got some good stuff in the pipeline, like Days Gone, obviously. So what do you think's happening for them?
More numbers. I think Sony's just gonna give us a lot of numbers. Honestly, they always do that every year. I don't know what to expect from Sony. They're going to give us something. We'll see more Death Stranding. They'll probably give us more numbers on, like, Detroit Becomes Human. Maybe one thing I would like to see is we finally get a Kingdom Hearts 3, and I can see that being revealed at Sony, because that's kind of their bread and butter for Square Enix. That's something I would like to see. Yeah. But I don't know what to expect from Sony, other than maybe more numbers, and they show us this and that, maybe a new single-player game they're working on. But at this point, Sony doesn't need to do too much to make their fans happy. Their fans are already happy. They're already, hopping on that bandwagon.
Right.
And already, Sony is king. Sony always wins. Sony never loses, and they're always bashing Xbox. So I don't think Sony has to do much to get the media, on their back right now.
Right.
I think right now, one that everybody's looking at is Xbox.
Jago says Sony need to get away from the dancers and some multiplayer-focused games and some AAA VR games. I think I agree with Jago on that one. I think we'll see more of VR, and hopefully there'll be some games that are a little bit more in the killer app kind of VR stage, because a lot of the stuff we've seen so far in the first year and a half or so have been mostly gimmicky style games, you know what I mean? That show the potential but don't really take full use of it. So that's one of the things. 20 minutes of boring VR gameplay by Sony. Yeah, you can mark it down. Salty says. I agree. That's probably going to be a big part of the show, because I think they got to pick up the VR space. That's the one that's a little bit lacking right now. That sort of thing. Yeah, personally, I'd love to see Sony bring in a franchise that actually does have some co-op gameplay, because honestly, the one disappointment I had with the last Uncharted game, and it was made for co-op, was Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. That, with the two girls, that should have definitely been a co-op game. Why it wasn't is beyond me. Like, I don't know why Sony seems to, there's they keep talking about Gears needs to freshen up. Well, why not Uncharted games bring something new? It's never had a co-op mode in it yet, other than multiplayer, right?
Yeah. Give me just a second.
So, yeah, they need some of that stuff, man.
Give me just 1 second.
But yeah, Sony's in the driver's seat. They're probably going to have at least a safe show, half-decent show, no matter what. I don't, I guess the question is, what new IP might we see from Sony this year? I suspect, we might see some stuff about the Kingdom Hearts, probably on their stage, those sorts of things. So it'll be interesting to see what they actually do.
Maybe some Last of Us.
I think Microsoft is in one of those, they're either going to go big or they're going to go home, because anything less than an outstanding show from them is going to be a disappointment, because fans expect a lot after essentially 3 to 4 years of really not announcing anything. Phil's had a little time, and I think Phil, despite not wanting to show stuff early, Phil has got to go out on a limb with this one, and he has to throw down. He has to let people know where the roadmap is for Xbox over the next year to 2 years for sure, and he's got to throw down. So what do you think? You think that's a good statement? You think Xbox goes big, or they kind of go home? Because if they have anything but a stellar show here, man, fans are going to start getting very, very angry and antsy at this point.
That one's rough, because the only thing is there's really no plan in sight for Xbox right now. So I mean, I don't know what they could possibly be doing. Like maybe they'll have a bunch of surprises for us. Like you said, maybe Phil will show us some things. But man, once again, I don't expect much from them, and that's sad to say. But I just don't.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll show us some future franchises. Maybe they'll show us, hey, we got this coming, maybe we got a new Halo coming, maybe we got this coming. I know those rumors were kind of ridiculous. Maybe they'll show us Joanna Dark or the Perfect Dark rumors. I don't know what they could possibly show us, but just give me. This is all from Xbox. Just let us know what the plans are, and I'll be happy.
Right.
We have this coming. We have this coming. We have this coming. We don't, maybe a CGI trailer and that. Just let us know what you have coming. That way, Xbox fans have something to look forward to, whether it's a year or 2 years down the road. Just give them something to look forward to at this point.
Yeah.
Microsoft's playing in fans' eyes is all over the place. That's why there's no fan confidence. I mean, that's 100% true. Because
Exactly.
nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Now, this code of silence that we're getting on all fronts from Xbox is not exactly instilling confidence. I mean, some people say, well, they don't like to give away the surprise, but I mean, man, we've had very little surprises, and most of the stuff that we, like any news at all we've had really over the last year, it's mostly come related to some sort of service on Xbox. Like, oh, we signed this tech company, or we signed this for the servers, or we did this and that, but we haven't seen like, man, we have got a big game coming, just you wait. Like even something like that, like just a teaser, it doesn't have to give away more than that. One of your beloved franchises is returning, you know, it can be something that simple and gets people excited. That's all it takes, man. It's just keep it going. Like Sony is great at dropping trailers all over the place and teasers all over the place, and I don't know what Microsoft's doing, man. Honestly, it's weird.
Nobody knows what they're doing, man. I'll just say this. I think right now the Xbox division kind of is in a bad spot because of how the X was beginning of the X to the part, like all the changeover all the turnover they've had. I think right now they're just in a hard spot because we've had this discussion on the Salty's podcast. Out of all the three, they have somebody to answer to. Phil Spencer has to answer to Microsoft. He doesn't just answer to himself. Sony, for the most part, PlayStation's pretty much keeping them above water, and Nintendo's Nintendo. They can just be their own thing, and they don't have to answer anybody but their fans, and then they can just tell their fans to deal with it. But Xbox is not that thing. So, I just think that right now we have things coming. I think Phil has been able to talk to the higher ups and let them know, hey, we have plans. Things are coming. Just bear with us and give us some time. I think that's coming. But as of right now, man, it's not look. It just doesn't look good, and that's tough to say as a fan of Xbox. You know, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not about that fanboy crap. Like, ooh, Xbox is kicking hell. I'm not about that. But it doesn't look good, and that's hard to say as a fan of somebody who cheats for Xbox.
You know, we had that big year in 2016 where we had a lot of games and pretty good launch lineup. Xbox had a lot of things going for games-wise, but it's ever since we moved over to more of the hardware narrative, it seems like now the games have dried up. So,
when all
like I
the
said, man,
games
time for
that Scalebound thing really just kind of took the air out of the sails, really.
Yeah, it did. It wasn't good. There was a number of other things too, and you see a Fable too, that Fable Legends, which while it might not have set the world on fire, to be so close to releasing, in its final stages, and then we're not going to bring it out. It really makes you like, what the hell is going on?
That game was ahead of its time, man.
You know, so I get it. Maybe the 1-on-4, whatever, wasn't a great mode, but they could have scrapped that, and they could have kept the fundamentals of the game, added some stuff, and just, put in a character creator, maybe added a few things, and still salvage the full fucking game, right?
Right.
Because they could have called it Fable something or another, because it was called Fable Legends, so it technically wasn't a sequel. So they could have even had like a knockoff or a spin-off or something and salvage the game out of it. So. Xbox fandoms, the Scalebound wasn't Xbox's fault. I know it wasn't. But fanboys won't let it die. They keep bringing it up, and that's funny thing. Like nobody ever played Scalebound. How do we know it was even going to be any fucking good? That game could have been like the hype behind Quantum Break, and then come out and done the same shit.
Because right, you're right. It very well could have been. but because it was Platinum Games, because it was a Japanese game, it was a good chance that Xbox could have really dug into part of that Sony crowd just for Sony fans to play that game if it was done right and played well. I think that's kind of what, because I know there was a lot of hype around that game as far as people who saw that and said, what, that looks good, I might get an Xbox for that. There's a lot of people who are friends of Japanese games who said that, and as soon as that happened, that just took the air out of stuff. So I agree with him. Fans won't let it go, but bro, I was looking forward to that game. So yeah, I'm not gonna let that go. That was a game I was looking forward to because I am a big fan of Japanese games. So what is this guy doing? But yeah,
I can understand the disappointment wholeheartedly because it looked unique. It had dragons in it. It was a JRPG. It was by Platinum. There was a lot of reasons to be excited. I get that. But, I mean, something definitely... I mean, for them to cancel a game with that much potential, something seriously had to be wrong. They don't do that lightly unless something is amiss. Either the game was way behind schedule and over budget, or it was not shaping up to be the game that they thought it was going to... Like, obviously, a major call had to be taken, and I'm pretty sure that Phil and company did not take it lightly when they said, look, we gotta call it quits on this game. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and shit happens like that. There's rumors, and again, they're probably just rumors, but rumors that Microsoft invested a lot in Platinum Games to make that game, and they took that money and spent it developing games for PlayStation, like they finished Nier Automata during that time. And maybe that's true. So I don't know. It took big balls to do that, Free Jet. Big balls indeed, brother. That's what I'm saying. They don't take these things lightly. Nobody cancels a studio or cancels a game without thinking of the perception that it's going to leave with your fan base. And then, of course, people are going to make up their own stories. So it's your choice to choose. But look, like I said, Microsoft needed that game in their portfolio. So I'm going to side more on their side to say that something was definitely a miss on Platinum's end. And of course, Buddy had some comments after too that the developer that didn't sound like, like basically didn't he come out and insult the fans or something at some point or something?
Mm-hmm.
I know he said something that people were like, holy shit. But Xbox and Microsoft or something, I don't know what it was, but I had to go back and find it.
But as far as E3 goes, like Microsoft, man, they really, I don't know what they're going to do. But they need to do something. I know that's great. That's a great insight, but it's true. I don't know what they can do, what they're gonna do, but they need to do something. That's just the way it is.
Well, I think anything less than at least one new IP and the return of a huge franchise will be not a good plan. You know what I mean? They need maybe one new IP from maybe a new upcoming studio. And they need to show off something big, whether it's Gears, Halo,
just confirm that these rumors are true, really. Just confirm, we're coming out with Fable. Yeah, we're coming out with the new Perfect Dark, no matter what. Yeah, we're coming out with this and that. Yeah, just confirm what these rumors are, and people will be fine. I think that's it.
Yeah, we got a new Playground game coming, whatever that is, from Playground Games. Phantom says in the chat. So yeah, there's definitely some good stuff coming in the pipeline. I think we just gotta have faith and confidence in Xbox. And you know what? And if they don't bring it this year, they might as well start focusing on the next gen of consoles, because
that's what's the next thing I'd say.
By that, it's gonna say at this point, like, they gotta salvage their reputation for next gen, and they gotta make sure the launch lineup for the next Xbox is like knocking it out of the park. They gotta have a lineup much similar to Nintendo Switch's launch lineup. You know what I mean? You gotta bring all the heavy hitters. Otherwise, the next Xbox won't stand a chance out of the gate.
As much as true. And I think that is something that they know, and I think that's what they're trying to do at this point, is maybe just take a focus on the next gen.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Maybe they're just like, you know what, there's not much we can do with it now. If we can't convince people to buy an Xbox One at this point, we're not likely to do it over the next course of the next year. We got new hardware coming, and we got to make sure that, our next batch of games are ready to roll when that sucker drops. Killer Instinct 2 is coming. Yeah, I hope so. That'd be dynamite, man. Lucky's Tale. Lucky's Tale was a good game. I don't know why that game gets shit on so much either. Yeah, it wasn't.
Me either. Like, I know that like that. Killer Instinct 2 is coming. That's what Jago says. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually enjoyed Lucky's Tale. I think. Here's another thing I will say. I'll say this much. Quantum Break. I never played it. From what I've heard, it was a good game. Sunset Overdrive. That game was fun. Rise. Yeah. Game was dope. at the beginning of the gen, you had these exclusives that were good, and they didn't do well. They didn't do well enough for Xbox to even continue them or want to, or instill confidence that they needed to put out more. So that has, I think that also has a lot to do with it. As far as they looked at those numbers and said, well, our fans aren't buying exclusives. We got to figure out a way to make money elsewhere. I think support has a lot to do with it as well, because I mean, like fans said, Nintendo gets a pass all the time, and their fans will pretty much, their fans are supporting Labo for God's sake.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like that also has a lot to do with it. PlayStation fans, I mean, as much as you get tired of hearing them saying we have all these games and you get tired of them praising the games, at least they play their games on their console. So I think that has a lot to do with it also. I mean, support of these games in the beginning, or the lack thereof, had a lot to do with it as well. I think there's this narrative going on that Xbox and EA think that our single-player games aren't selling very well. All these players want our multiplayer games. Here you go. Here comes your Anthems. Here comes your State of Decays. But then they come to find out, now all of a sudden that's not true. But in the end, you still got to support those games. And I think that's one way to look at it. Is I just think they don't get enough support, and they're still trying to figure out, okay, how can we get fan support? Multiplayer, okay, that doesn't work unless it's Halo or Gears of War. What can we do next? I think that's where they're at right now.
I think a game like Lucky's Tale, if that was a Switch exclusive game, I don't think people would have complained about it much.
People would not complain about it.
But I think it's because it was on Xbox. But you got to remember that PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo, I mean, Nintendo's known for having that style of game, but Xbox also has to cater to more than just the 30 and 40-year-olds with these single-player hardcore games. They got to appeal to families that have kids that got 10 and 12-year-olds that don't want a game that's going to, like, I don't see too many, like, 10-year-olds, like, kicking ass in Bloodborne or Dark Souls, you know what I mean? Like, come on. Maybe they would, actually. Most 10-year-olds are probably a lot better than I am.
Some of these 10-year-olds are raw.
Yeah. No, that's true. But you know what I'm trying to say, right? Like, you gotta have
exactly.
You gotta.
Rain said it best. I see that a lot of
everyone
wants new games on Xbox, but no one buys them. That's the point I'm trying to make. Everybody's complaining about them, and they want them, but they didn't. You had a bunch of exclusives come out at the beginning of the X. Nobody supported them. So now what's Xbox going to do? Make more? No, they're going to figure out another way to make money and save their money.
People have spent too much time looking at Metascores. Like, one of my favorite games this gen was Rise, Son of Rome, hands down. Metacritically wise, it didn't get amazing scores, but you know what? I'd take Rise over some of the games that have gotten 9s and 10s on Metacritic, because I love that game. I thought it was fantastic. Same thing with Quantum Break. I love Quantum Break. I don't think it was amazing, but I think it was well done for the first attempt. You know what I mean? So look at this, an alien level. This is pretty cool. I love how Sega used to make a lot of these games too back in the day with these like movie references in them. I remember Revenge of Shinobi, you could fight the Terminator and Spider-Man in the original version. It was pretty cool.
Man, I can't see anything with this fog.
The pixelated fog. So yeah, man, I think like, let's just wrap up the E3 talk. Like, I think Sony and Nintendo can kind of play it safe because we kind of know what's coming in the pipeline with them. Xbox is the biggest gamble, one way or the other. Like I said, go big, or basically they might as well just call it until the next console, because they're going to be in trouble. Let's get on to our last topic of the night before we open the floor to just some random questions. Last topic, Avengers Infinity War grosses $1 billion, or over $1 billion. And Deadpool 2 is just a week away. So I'm just wondering for you, Nick, have you watched these movies, or are you excited for Deadpool 2? And do you think these superhero movies are ever going to go away, or they're just like the trend that's going to last forever here?
Well, I have not seen Infinity War, but like I mentioned before, it was spoiled for me. So I will watch it eventually, but now that it's gotten spoiled for me, I'm just going to chill out on rushing to go see it. Deadpool, nobody ruined that for me. I'm looking forward to that. We were talking to Salt.
Oh, baby.
I was talking to Salt. Oh, it wasn't Salt. I was on Bloody Knuckles podcast, Smash podcast, and they were talking about, it seems like this time around with Deadpool, they invested a lot more because they didn't know how the first one would be taken or how the first one would do. And so this time around, it's getting a lot bigger budget, and it looks like it's taken a lot more serious. I am anticipating that that's going to be a great movie. So I am looking forward to that one. As far as these games, as far as these movies, like, I personally think that they're gonna come to to a slowdown. Like, I don't know how many more they can make, but with the news that, you know, they're trying to get X-Men and they're trying to get, ooh, what is this? They're trying to get X-Men and Fantastic Four, and if they do,
got some Contra shit going on.
They can kind of lay off on the Avengers and say, here's a new X-Men, like, and they could get more, you know, more momentum that way. I just don't know how many more of these Avengers you can do, honestly, and do it big. I know that the rumor is the next stage you're going to is the Secret Wars. I don't know if that's true or not. Who knows? But as far as these movies, I don't know, man. They're kind of a monster. Anytime I think that they can't do any better than they do, they just do. So it's like one of those things where, yeah, I want to bet against it and be like, yeah, this is where it slows down, but like, come on. I don't think it will.
Yeah, I don't see it, you know, and the fact that Avengers just pulled in another record-breaking, just to me, it just shows there's no signs of these movies slowing down. I guess as long as they look good, they're produced well, which Avengers and Infinity War. I mean, obviously, 2 huge movies in a row the way for Disney, like unbelievable. You got Black Panther setting records, and then of course this movie. Like, man, Disney's just they're thinking now this was the best move ever to buy out that Marvel property, right?
Exactly. You know, like I said, I can say all day, like, okay, maybe they'll slow down the Avengers, and then now they have the X-Men and Fantastic Four. Maybe they'll focus on that, and maybe that is the case. But anytime I want to say, oh man, the next movie can't be as good as the one before it, and they just keep getting better. You know, I love that line. I can't say anything, but from what I've heard, that is like the next level.
Funny, Spider-Man in the chat says DC movies suck late, and it's kind of funny because in the trailer for the new I picked the Axel this time. In the trailer for the new Deadpool movie, Deadpool says, what's that one point he goes, it's kind of dark. What is this, a DC movie or something? This is the DC universe. I thought it was fucking hilarious. Breaking the fourth wall, right? Making a reference to that. I thought it was hilarious, man. Yeah, and the TV shows kick ass, and not only just the movies, but like some of those Netflix Marvel shows are pretty dope too. So, yeah, I think DC needs to learn from some of their TV shows on TV. Some of theirs are not bad. So anyway, that's pretty much it for the topics, guys. We're at 111 minutes in. I can't thank you guys enough for hanging out with us and watching this podcast. We've had a great time on it tonight. Hope you've enjoyed it and the conversation. Now we open up the floor to some questions from you guys. If you have any final questions for Nick before we wrap this show up, now is the time to drop them in the chat as we keep on getting pummeled in Streets of Rage 2. Yeah, this game was way better than the first one, graphically and mechanically.
Oh my gosh, man! I'm like, I'm free to do whatever. I feel like I'm free to do whatever. I can't, but clearly, compared to that last one, oh my goodness.
Oh.
Like,
what is your favorite food? Yes, I always forget about that. What is your favorite food, Nick? What do you enjoy eating, and what's your favorite game snack? That was from Spider-Man.
My favorite food.
Yeah, man. What do you like to chow down on?
Oh my goodness. That's rough. Because oh man. What is my go-to, usually if I'm poor, and I'm broke and I don't have any money, my go-to for as far as going to a fast food restaurant and getting something is always either gordita at Taco Bell or tacos from Jack in the Box. That's my poor food. My favorite thing to eat? Oh man, that's rough. There's a lot.
Crazy Greek dude says if it's pizza, what would be your favorite Ninja Turtle? I mean, what's your favorite pizza? And then, who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Favorite Ninja Turtle's Donatello. He's the smartest.
Donatello.
He puts in all the work. Yeah. Leonardo's the leader, and Raph is the rebel, and Mikey is the jokester. But Leonardo kind of holds it all together if you think about it, because he's so damn smart, and he comes up with the plan. And Leonardo then, executes them. So it has to be Donatello. He's the real brain behind my operation. Favorite pizza, as far as I can know, anything with meat lovers, buffalo chicken pizza, Pacific pizza, anything like that, anything with chicken on it.
Right.
Stereotypical, right? But
I like Canadian pizza. Canadian pizza's got bacon, pepperoni, I think it's mushroom, and sometimes onion. That's my.
Jago says, "How's that McDonald's working out for you?" Ooh, I'm beating you up. My bad.
Xbox Phantom in the chat says, "I hope that they do something for Matt this E3, or he's going to be pissed." He's going to be repping Xbox Addict. Yes, shout out to Xbox Addict, guys. I'm sure he's missed. Great service, it looked like, at the funeral for him, and nice to see Aaron Greenberg and some guys from Xbox go out there. And some of the guys who went to E3, I know some people went to the funeral there, so shout out to him, man. It's very sad to lose your life at such an early age. And
right,
I mean, I didn't know the guy. I don't want to act as if I did, but the one thing I do know is that from watching him on Twitter, the man had an infectious love for Xbox. The man had one of the craziest Xbox collections I've seen in my life. I was so jealous and envious, and like, man, like, that was like a kid's dream come true to see the shit that he had. He had like all the consoles and the collector's editions. That dude had a serious controller collection that was off the charts, man. Like, it's sad that he had to go, and shout out to Xbox Addict. Jago has a question here. No, what Canadian bacon? Yeah, it is basically a ham, or it's like a thick cut bacon. Somebody asked in chat. Jago says, "What's the next gen system you're looking forward to most?" Nick,
Xbox. I'm looking forward to see.
Forward to Xbox, man.
Nice. Just well, here's the deal. Nintendo's already stated that they're gonna ride this Switch thing for several years. So. I'm gonna have to just, unless they come out with a new rendition of the Switch, there's nothing new coming out. If they say it's true, 7 to 10 years, oh my goodness, that's a long time for them to have this out. So there's nothing to look forward to there. So as far as the next gen console, bro, it has to be Xbox. The X is the most powerful console. You can tell there's a difference. So what I'm looking forward to is seeing what they do. This is what I hope they do. I do not want them to let PlayStation get that power narrative back. But then at the same time, all they'll do is the narrative, oh, you have no games. So they need to crush it both ways. That's what I'm hoping they do. Yeah. They come out with some good ass games, and then they still keep the power narrative, and then they just win both ways.
Yeah. Well, I think the next generation of consoles are going to be harder to tell the difference than ever. I think they're going to be very closely matched, because I think we're at the point now where graphics parity is starting to equal out, and we're starting to look at maybe, they're going to be 4K. Question is will most of the games be a higher frame rate? Will they be native 4K? And I suspect that the majority of them will. I think they hit one resolution on one console, they probably will on the other. So I think it will come down to some of the games and the services that they offer in the long haul for the next gen. So we'll see what's going on. Irrelevant Native.
Native, my dude, what's up?
PlayStation pussy, Xbox pussy looks the same, Newf. Yeah, pretty much, eh? One's a little green, one's a little blue, but I don't care. How about you?
Hell.
Yeah, man. Last chance, guys. Last chance for the question. We're gonna
any
cut
questions?
It off. I usually try to keep saying that. I try to get these mixing it up the news down to 70 minutes or so, and they always end up being like 2 hours long. But hey, that's because my guests are fantastic, and Nick is fantastic as always. Big supporter of his, guys. Make sure that you guys go check him out. He'll give you the links here in a second. Last question, guys. Last chance to do it.
Any question?
Fat guys from that last game. They got baseball caps on.
Music, food. I'm a big music guy.
Why are Wii U game prices still holding on in Canada? That's a good question, Free Jack. No idea. Because Canadians are dumb, probably, and we still buy it no matter what the price is. I don't know.
My question is, why are a lot of prices still holding on Nintendo? Because they think that
irrelevant.
They are ramen or ramen.
I know Nintendo doesn't discount shit, dude. That's the weirdest thing. I guess because they can still sell it for full price and nobody cares.
No, man. And like I remember I was playing Splatoon and Salka saying, "Man, when are they gonna discount this game?" I said, "Never."
Well, here's the thing. I think the reason why, I'll tell you why, because unlike the other consoles, Nintendo's games are a premium commodity, right? Because when you buy a Nintendo system, most people buy it for Nintendo games. You don't generally buy a Nintendo because you wanted to play Doom on it. If you wanted Doom, you probably already had it on your PS4 or your Xbox. So when it comes to the competitors, I think it's because the competitors have so many games that in order for some games to find shelf life or to, you know what I mean, they have to discount to compete with the amount of games. But Nintendo doesn't have all the big 30-party games, so I think that's why. I think if there was more competition, if there were more Grand Theft Autos and maybe Call of Duties and those type of games, I think we would see Nintendo perhaps say, look, we're losing sales ground here because people are not buying our games anymore. But that's not the case, right? Oh, he says, are you Jacob says, are you buying Labo? That's a great question.
My son
I'm here
is bothering me about it. About it all the time. I don't want to pay for it. I thought about it because I wanted for my channel, like, oh yeah, let me get a Labo to help out for views from channel. And I said, oh my God, piss on that. I'm not spending $80 on this thing. And then my son saw the commercial on TV one day and he was like, oh, I want Labo. And so now he's been asking about Labo about it. I don't know. I'm going to hold off as much as I can on that. I find it funny though that Labo's not doing as well as they thought it would be. Which to me, I should be like, like once again as a Nintendo YouTuber, I should be like, oh man, that stinks for Nintendo. Well, people support it, but no, give us games, man. Focus on the games. Give us games. You're a video game company. Focus on them, and that's what I hope this new president does.
What color was your GameCube? Says Doreen.
Platinum.
The purple one.
I got the platinum.
I had that one.
The platinum one, and I got the platinum one with the platinum controller. And my mom also got me the Wave Bird, so I was rolling dirty with the GameCube.
Yes, I had the platinum and I had the black one. I had two because I traded in one and got another one. Green says mine was blue. Blue? Did he have a blue one? I remember the purple one, but
maybe they did. I don't remember. Maybe toward the end they maybe had one, but I
remember the original was fucking purple. I was like, man, that's a wacky ass
black,
color for a console.
And then, they came out with the platinum there later.
Yeah. Nick, you know what you should do for one of your podcasts? You should actually put a cardboard box on your head and make it like, and then like draw some like TV knobs on the side and be like, this is Nicktendo TV or something, and Labo, you know what I mean? That'd be funny.
Like
put a cardboard box over your head and be like,
I've watched people try to stream them, and like my buddy Smash JT, he was streaming, putting one together live, and he had to cut the stream off because it took so damn long to put it together. He's like, I thought this would be done in 30 minutes. No, it like from one thing I heard it took somebody to get the robot. It took them 3 hours to put that thing together. I'm like 3 hours to put that thing together. That's ridiculous. When's the next gen's coming out? Next gen's for what, Spider-Man? Are we talking consoles here, or are we talking about Xbox and PlayStation, or Nintendo's next gen?
Because 2020 Spider-Man says. Yeah. I don't know when Nintendo's is coming out.
Nintendo's isn't coming out for a long time.
Nintendo's won't be a while. Yeah, I think they're happy right now to ride the wave that they're on. We might see some variations of the Switch, but I don't think we'll see like a brand new successor for a while because they're doing really well right now, and I think they found a great market that's like a great alternative market to what we have with Xbox, and you know what I mean? Because I think the smartest thing they did was making the Switch portable, like a hybrid. That was huge. That was, to me, that was a defining factor because that was the thing that sold me on it. If that was just a straight up connect to my TV, I probably would have been like, nah. But the fact that it's like a console that can hook to my TV and take it on the go and play AAA style games, that was a seller for me. I was like, man, be able to take like Breath of the Wild anywhere I go, you know what I mean? It's like, damn.
Right. One last question, Nick. Would you like to see Nintendo make a Switch VR compatible? I would like to see it happen. I don't think it will. I think that it's going to be very niche. I think Nintendo
doesn't have enough power.
Yeah, it doesn't have enough power. If it does, it'll be like how they do with mobile, where you just put the thing on your face and that's the VR.
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as, because I mean, you could literally easily take the Joy-Cons off, slide the tablet into something, and have a VR experience that way, which is easy. I can see them doing that, but like Fana said, not enough power. It'd be more like what they do with mobile, and I mean, even so, that's not even VR. It's just you put the phone up to your face and that's it. So, I don't see them doing it. I'd like to see them do something like that, but I think they're focused on. At this point, they've already said that they're focused on this new online that they put out, and I can see them focusing on more of the games as a service stuff and what games they can force us to play by getting the online service.
So, well, we're gonna end the questions and the show here at this, guys. It's been a fantastic stream as always. I expect it no less from Nicktendo Direct, guys.
Yes,
so Nicktendo, tell people, man, how they can follow you, how they can get a hold of you, how they can check out your YouTube, all that good stuff, brother.
All right, so you can follow me on Twitter at Nicktendo Direct. The I in Direct is a number 1. Because that one was already taken by some random person, so I couldn't get the actual I. And then, but my YouTube is spelled correct. So, Nintendo Direct on YouTube. So youtube.com/Nintendo Direct. I'm, for the most part, I'm still doing Nintendo news, Nintendo rumor videos and game reviews. I'm reviewing indie games now called the Indie Spotlight. Trying to do that every Monday, but this Monday just didn't happen. So, where I spotlight a indie game on the Switch every Monday. Do a review on it, and then I'm starting to get more into the live stream thing, but my live streams aren't too late, and it's really interesting because I am getting more into the European crowd, so it's very interesting to interact with the European crowd. They absolutely love Nintendo. I did not think they would, but they do, and so getting to interact with more of the European crowd is interesting, and so I stream like late night, midnight Central Time, till about maybe 3 in the morning. And it's been great. So that's how you can catch me there. So if you're ever up late and you want to hang out, just get on YouTube. I'll be live. Chances are I'll be live streaming.
Yeah, well, like I said, guys, Nintendo Direct is one of the coolest cats you're going to meet in the podcast community. He does a great job covering Nintendo, but as you can tell, he's knowledgeable enough. He can speak on everything. He plays Xbox. He's a fan of games in general, the way we all should be. Play for the love of it, not for the hate, man.
Yes.
There's lots of things in this world to be hating on, and games shouldn't be one of them, or its fans. Have fun. That's what they are. At the end of the day, they're all the same, man. It's just they got a different brand name on the package. So I want to thank everybody for coming out. Jago, that's cool, man. You were late, man. As long as you made it here, I appreciate you stopping by.
Yes, sir,
always.
Jago.
So guys, make sure you guys check out our new podcast. Myself, Attack the Glitcher, Jago, Stinking Corpse. We've got Invader and Primal Eve coming at you on Monday evenings, guys. Episode 2 coming up next week. Our first episode was really good. It is called the Game Dosage Podcast. We look forward to be back. Next week, episode 19, guys. We're going to have Primal Eve on here as well. And Phantom, you're going to be on this list here very soon. I promise you, brother. You're long overdue. So this Primal Eve will be next week, and I got a special guest for episode 20 as well. So make sure you guys subscribe to Nick's channel. Go check him out on Twitter and all that good stuff, guys. Show him some love, support. You won't be disappointed, especially if you're a Nintendo fan. He'll keep you in the loop, and he does it very, very well. So thank you guys again. Salty, thanks for checking out Spider-Man. All you regular guys, Free Jack, everybody, we appreciate you. We love you guys. 30J, thanks for the support, guys. We're going to end the broadcast here. We'll catch you soon. Nick, any final words?
Thanks for having me on, man. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. Like I said, we've been trying to get on this. I've been trying to get on here for a while. We've just been going back and forth, missing dates, and so I'm finally glad to be on, and it's been fun. And thanks to everybody for the continuous support. I appreciate everybody. So thanks, man.
Thanks, Grain. Appreciate it, Grain, and we'll try to get you into some Xbox games here too soon, brother. Don't worry. Just send us a message when you're on if you want to play something, dude. We'll try to make room for you. So, yeah, we don't try to discriminate, man. Right, we just want to play some games. Anyway, guys, have a great night, everybody. Sleep tight. We'll catch you on the next one, and I'll try to have this video up online here in the next day or so. Nick, again, thanks for being my guest, man. You were wonderful as always, and I look forward to doing this with you in the future.
Awesome, man. Me too.
Say hello to your lovely wife and kids.
Oh, I will.
Tell them Newf says hello. No chills.
Yes, sir.
Boom, boom, kaboom. Newf out.